Well, good afternoon, people. Hope everybody's as good as they're going to be. If anyone is as frustrated as me with that game, I mean, I think a few people definitely saw that game in different ways. I mean, for me, get the doctor out again. Last, 30 seconds, and we give it to him on a plate. The marking, we're going to that one. That was annoying. I mean, overall, I don't think that was our worst performance, but surely it wasn't our best. And if I'm going to be totally honest, I don't think we had a good game. I just think we had a better game than Man U, and they was pretty poor. If we're going to add up most of our team and that, I think more players had a bad game than a good game. I mean, we could go through that. I mean, everyone did ask the question, why is he starting Richie? I know the options aren't great, and I know Odegaard isn't great, but I think Odegaard had a respectable last game. I think Richie is terrible, so why we even start him, I don't know. I could half understand why he started Sarr, but I still think we're better than Bentancur there. Going a bit more defensive, I know that, but at least Bentancur passes the ball forward. With Sarr, he just runs the ball forward and he does nothing else apart from now and again has a shot and now and again has a pass. There's not that much difference really between him and Bergville in that aspect. Except I think Sarr's a bit better at keeping the ball. You know what? Frustrating enough. I think I need a beer after that one. Bloody annoying game. I mean, we didn't even have a shot on target until the second half. I think the second half we took control of him. We were definitely better. I mean, in the first bit where they got the goal, where did that come from? But again, give it to him on a plate. 2 cases of bad marking, in my opinion. Vicario for the second goal, yes, I think he was at fault, but I think the marking definitely did not help him in any means or manner. Just very, very fucking frustrated, if I'm going to put it blunt and blatant. I do feel like we got the doctor out basically and gave it to him in a plate on the last bloody minute. I mean, if I remember right, in about 89 minutes, 88 minutes or something like that, 90 minutes even, they were down to 10 men as well. I can't remember the exact time. It just very pissed off with that we give it to them that easy. And people wonder why it's going to take a very long time, if we ever do it, lose that name, Spursy. God forbid that I actually say it, but yes, at the end of the day, give it to teams like that on a plate, can't hold on to it, the name will never die. So I'm going to say hello to a couple of people, bring on a couple of guests I've got on here, and we can go through things. Lily White, how we doing, fella? Hope you're good. Big up, Dan. Very even game, and point isn't worst result. Frank got his team selection wrong, but subs bang on. You really think so? I mean, yep, the subs did end up good, but I think that was due to a bit of luck as well. I mean, Richie, he only got that out of bang luck. That was one of the worst games I've seen him play. But I don't know about the subs or such, but they did work. I can't argue that. They did work. So in that aspect, I get where you're coming from. Yeah. And anyway, solid defensively, toothless up top. I didn't even think we looked solid defensively. It's how we let the 2 goals go through poor defending, basically. Richie and Johnson poor, and Vic has to be better. Yes, that's the problem with Vicario. He's, like I've said, excellent shot stopper, reflexes, top 2, top 3 in the Premier League, extremely good. When he has to think about it, and when it comes to other things, he leaves a lot to be desired. But I see where you're coming from your points, but I will go through them. And Scott, how we doing, mate? Sarr over Bentancur was terrible decision. I could see why he played Sarr, more to press forward. But, yeah, Bentancur is better. And Jeff, big up, Dan, big up to you too. Brennan, bloody Johnson, marking delicious, made me laugh. Whose decision was that? Johnson, he's just... I think his first 15 minutes was all right. And then after that, it's just Johnson, isn't it? I think Johnson's managed to get to that point now where we just look at it and just say it's just Johnson, isn't it? He is who he is. It's just Richie just seems to get worse and worse and worse, if you can believe that. Lynn, how we doing? Afternoon, Dan. Hope you're good. And Scott also saying, other than that, the usual crap or other crap to start. Yeah, can't deny it. Vic shot stopping and reactions are great. Yep. He's nowhere near good enough at commanding his box, though. He's always loud when it's on the other side of the pitch. But when it comes into the box, it's sort of like someone muzzles him up like a dog. He shuts up. I don't understand that one. And also saying, like, Sarr was awful. What is it? You're taught as a kid, if in doubt, kick it out. Yes, and I think Romero screwed that up a couple of times as well. So the last couple I go through before I bring on guests, and Jeff saying Man United let us back into the game and we still couldn't create jack shit. Totally agree. So why the hell take Simmons off? Okay, we got a go out, but I didn't think that was a good move. Also saying Lily White, Odebert was the player I think changed the game. I think he done well when he came on. And Del Boy, big up to you, mate. As a United fan, I like both sides will be disappointed with a draw. Felt our manager's subs killed it. Having said that, 2-1 down, 10 men, 95 minutes, I'll take a draw. Yep, I'm sure you will. And it would have been the same the other way round. And with that, basically, just want to say, also, thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated. Alza, if I've said your fucking name right. Why Frank don't take the shackles off? Risk it, man. I totally agree. And so bring on 2 guests. And here we go. Ben Dietrich, how you 2 doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty pissed off, if I'm going to be honest, after that game.
I just want to see Dietrich's face.
Well, I said the day we win a trophy under Frank, you're going to see my face for a year.
Okay, fair enough.
So, right, go on. Like, Dietrich, I'll come with you first, mate. How did you see that game today? We'll tell you what. We'll focus on the starting lineup first, yeah?
Okay.
And then we'll just go through it from there, basically. Go with the flow. So, how did you see the starting lineup today?
So you see, the game was 12:30 kickoff time in your time zone. Us,
Yeah.
it was 7:30. Woke up at 6 a.m. When I saw um Papin Sarr, Polina, and Simmons, I was like, you know what? Finally, he learned his lesson. He's not gonna play too defensive, even though I prefer Benton Core. But I understood why he did that. But then when I saw he didn't play Udogi and Odebear, I was like, what the fuck? What is he doing? And seeing Richie on the left, even though he had the worst game of his life against Copenhagen and missed a penalty, like, does he justify him starting? It doesn't make any sense. I was expecting a loss, but
I thought we'd win that 2-1, and we nearly did. But like I said, Dr. Tottenham came out and gave it to him on a plate, as far as I'm concerned. There with shambolic defended, especially for that second one.
And for me, Poro should have been benched because he's playing way too many games. So I was expecting that.
Yes, I am starting to. I mean, Porro, he's either burnt out or he's just losing it, one or the other. I do think we have played it that much, and he's either burnt out or he's going down a bit. He's just not looking good lately. So, Ben, how did you see that starting lineup?
I thought there was absolutely nothing wrong with it whatsoever, except for Richarlison. Like, for me, Richarlison should never don a Tottenham Hotspur shirt ever again. And quite frankly, it makes me question Frank's intelligence. Do you keep playing a player that is detrimental to someone's squad? I'm just going to say it how it is. Yeah, for me, nothing wrong with that lineup by Richie. I like the fact that Sarr played. I actually said to you the last time we streamed together, I thought it would be a better idea to play Sarr because you need the legs against Man United, especially with some of their attacking players. You know, Bentancur is better for sitting deep, whereas, you know, Sarr is able to move up and down the pitch. Look, he's good at intercepting and he's good at pressing people. So, yeah, I had no problem with the lineup by Richarlison, boys.
No, with the lineup there, the only reason I could understand Udogi not starting is he's either not fully match fit yet, and maybe we needed that bit of extra defense in having Spence there. But if Udogi was fully fit, I would have started him and put Spence on the right because Porro has been pretty substandard.
Udogi's having problems, isn't he, at the moment? Apparently, he was held up at gunpoint by an agent.
That was 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah, that was 3 months ago.
That was 2 or 3 months ago.
But
that weren't yesterday.
Then
with starting Sarr, I could understand why he started Sarr. But again, personally, I'd have gone for Bentancur and Paulinho there. So I get the point that can be quite defensive together. But Sarr, for me, really, bar the odd game, does nothing. I think we'd have been more solid in the middle with them two. But I can understand his idea of starting Sarr. Richie, Frank, what the fuck are you doing? Why even... Now, I know the options we have on the left aren't great. But Odebert's last game, probably the best game we've seen him play. Wasn't great, but one of the better games for sure. By his standards, you could say it was a great game, I suppose. And... not another good option to start. But Richarlison, for fuck's sake, man. If Frank picks him again when we've got options there, then that's on Frank's head. It's got to be. I mean, seriously, why the hell did he pick Richarlison? I know and I'm seeing it in apps and everything else. Yeah, but Richarlison's got... Did he? He just basically spun off him, basically. He didn't even know what he was doing.
I've got a question. Would that have gone in with or without Richarlison's...
No.
But it was pure. It was pure luck. It was not intentional. It was pure luck that it happened. Basically, he tried
to duck, and it hit his head.
Yes. Apart from that, for me, just because a player scores a goal, it doesn't all of a sudden change their game. Now, I know a lot of people seem to think it does. Oh, we wouldn't have got this without. He had a shocking game today. Absolutely terrible. I think some of the other players was not good today by standards, but he had a shocking game today. Proper abysmal. So scoring that goal, okay, you can put an extra point on his list, but that's about it for me. I mean, I would start Odegaard over Richarlison on the left all day long because at least he is actually a left winger. Go on, Dietrich.
No, just one more thing on the starting lineup. When I saw Jet, Spence, and Poro, I knew Amarim would switch Mbeumo on the right and put him on the left and target Poro every single time.
People do it every game.
Yeah,
that's what I keep telling people.
This is why I say when we play against a better team, Poro should not be there because they're just gonna target him every single time, just like Arsenal. We know against Arsenal they're gonna go down his side,
just like they did with us with Ange, basically.
Yeah,
in that aspect, they did. Yeah. In that aspect, nothing has changed.
Name me a game where Mbeumo starts on the right, not on the left. Sorry, he's always a right winger. Always been
9 times out of 10.
But now
I've seen him play left once or twice, but no, they focused on Poro, and that was exactly what was happening with Ange.
And did they make a single goal out of it? No.
But he still got absolutely
they did
today, and he had a fucking bad game.
Benji, yes, they did, because Mbeumo was on the left and he scored the header, and who was to man marking him was Poro.
Fair point.
It's true.
Fair point. Look, Benj, the way it happens with him, is he gets focused on every game. He's not. I mean, last season he got focused on a majority of the time, even though at times they focused on the right, down the middle, whatever, and that you could do that where we was pressed that high. But he gets focused on the most because I keep saying it. The man can't defend for shit.
I just think you got a bit of a hate boner for him, Dan.
No, I think he's one of our best players. I just think the two managers are just not playing him right. Simple as that, really. Some players, if I say a player is a shit defender, I'm not saying he's shit unless he is a defender. Poro is not defensive-minded. Okay, he blocks a couple of goals and he gets a tackle in now and again, and people say he's got better. Yeah, he's got better. He was awful at defending when he first got here. Okay, you can just say now he's bad. He's not a defensive-minded player. He's a right back. And that is why every team now sussed us in that aspect. No different to last season. Focus on Poro. He will screw up.
So
last season it was because he was inverted. This season it's because he's more playing the actual right back role. He's a wing back. He wants to press forward. He wants to get forward and cross the ball. But even when he got forward today, his passing and that was absolutely terrible today. He had an absolute howler of a game.
Ben, for me, Poro is our best shooter, best crosser, best passer. Unfortunately, he's just not a defender. And it's not his fault. That's not his position.
I don't think he's a bad player at all. I think if we play him as a wing back, go on.
It's like playing Bentancur at the 10. Does it make sense? No.
You might get something out of it.
You might get something.
Exactly. Now and again.
And I mean, it doesn't work. I
feel sorry for him.
Yeah, and it doesn't work when you have Brendan Johnson on the right that doesn't track back or doesn't help out. If you had Kudus, then you can play him as a right back. But if Kudus is not there to track back, let him bump forward.
And Johnson don't exactly come back and help either. I've seen him do that in probably 2 games in his life. I mean, Poro's crossing hasn't been of great lately. Now, it's not just focusing on him. We're going to go through the whole lot, but we are talking about Poro. So I think everything about him has gone backwards, basically. Some might say he's got a bit better at defending. Okay, I don't really see it. But I just think over the past few games, his crossing ain't been up to standards. His passing, his shooting, he has not looked up to standards lately. I mean, do you actually think he might be a bit burnt out? Because he literally starts as many games, if not more, than the fucking goalkeeper.
I think he's burned out, and I think it just doesn't help his 2 partners, which is either Johnson or Romero that was shocking today.
Yeah, we can come to him as well. Again,
I'm not gonna.
Another one.
Yeah.
We'll come to him.
We'll come to him. It's just like I don't think we're helping him as a player. Because usually you would get the best out of the player and support him with the supporting cast that might help his deficiencies. And unfortunately, We just don't do it.
Scotty, what are you talking about,
Scott,
mate?
What are you talking about, mate? Porro is better defensively than Spence. Oh, sorry, I've read that wrong. No.
No, I understand.
Porro is better defensively, and Spence is better.
Than Spence when he's in an attack.
We both read that wrong.
Yeah.
We both read
Yeah,
that wrong.
I totally read that wrong. I thought you were telling me
Sorry, Scotty.
Porro defensively better than Spence. No, Porro better at going forward attacking, Spence better at defending. Got it. Read that wrong, mate. It was just the first bit. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
But that statement is true.
Trick. Yeah, he's right. No,
Yeah,
he
he's
is
right.
right.
No,
So,
that's it.
with Porro getting focused on again, does us no favours. Two defensive problems in that one that stood out a mile, I think. I think we gave that game to him in the last minute on a plate. I mean, we said, we go, oh, for God's sake, why do I always get phone calls when it comes to this every time I go online? I mean, let's go through the team, yeah? I'm now getting phone call after phone call now. I mean, Vicario for me didn't really have that much to do. For the second goal, I think he could have done significantly better, but the marking was terrible. So is he really to blame for either of them goals?
First goal, I'm going to blame him. It's close to your 6-yard box. I know that's not his biggest attribute, which is coming off his line, but you got to try to do something. At least go and help. You can see Mbeumo and Porro's right there. Have the awareness to help him out. You can use your arms. You already have almost 10 inches advantage over the attacker. Just come off your line. There's no point of staying on your line. You can use your whole box. Come off, punch the ball, catch the ball. First goal, I'm gonna blame him. Well, I'm blaming Romero and Porro for the defensive.
The first one I'd say was more down to the marking. First one I would say it was down to the marking.
Yes, the marking wasn't good, but I'm expecting my goalkeeper to come out of his box just a little bit. Just make yourself big, catch the ball, ease the defense. It's not like the ball was super quick. It was just going slowly, and then it reached Mbeumo.
And Man U had done nothing till then either, had they?
No,
really. I mean, if anything, I say control the game, but we were the more team in control for the first 20 minutes, and they just got that out of absolutely nothing. It's like Dr. Tottenham turned up, and we give that bit to them on a plate, like the second goal.
And who caused that goal? It was Pape Sarr for not clearing the ball. I wouldn't
quite say this was a Dr. Tottenham moment.
Yeah, it was
a bit harsh.
Giving two goals?
This game.
Go on, Ben.
I wouldn't say this game was a Dr. Tottenham moment. Look,
no,
we've seen Dr. Tottenham a lot. I just think this game in particular, this is why I'm not annoyed at the fact that we lost, because I never felt we deserved to win in the first place. You could see the system Frank was playing. You could see what we were trying to do. Being defensively sound, all that bullshit, but. I just think it was another mid performance. I certainly wouldn't say it was Dr. Tottenham. And again, I genuinely wasn't upset when that equaliser went in for him, because we didn't deserve to win it anyway. So
I say Dr. Tottenham bench because we gave both goals to him on a plate. Simple as that.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Right?
They did not get those goals out of pure quality or skill where they outdone us. We gave it to them on a fucking plate with them 2 goals. That's the reason I say Dr. Tottenham.
The goal that we gave them and then a plate, they scored. But the plays that they made to create a chance like Sesko, they missed. So we did give them 2 goals. Because all of the chances they created, they couldn't score it.
Well, hold on. Let's look at this quickly. Who's the shortest player in our team? Is it Porro?
I would say so.
Then what the fuck is he doing guarding the back post anyway?
Okay, but before you go to this one, how about you look back? You look back. Why did Sarr not clear the ball? Why did he pass it to?
No, for sure. But answer that question, Dietrich. Why is Porro the shortest player on our team guarding the back post? For me, that's not Frank.
Because he's the right back and he's supposed to defend the left winger. And that's his man. As much as I don't like the decision, that's how it works.
Well, then, if that is true, I've never understood that in football, because as far as I'm concerned, you get your tallest guys, your 3 tallest guys.
But it wasn't a free
back.
But it wasn't a corner or a free kick. You see, it was just a cross. And that's his man. If it was a corner, I would understand. Would be 100%. I would agree with you. He should not be defending Mbuemo. But in that situation, that's his man. That's his task to defend him 1-on-1.
And that's why.
That's why.
Hold on, maybe I'm missing something. Weren't both of the goals they scored corners?
No. The first one was a cross. It was Sarr that didn't clear the ball. It went on the left, and I believe it was Bruno that crossed it, if I'm not mistaken. And the second one was a corner.
Okay. I mean, again, with set pieces, for me, it's a 50-50. You know, mistakes happen at set pieces all the time. So
no, it doesn't. Mistakes don't happen.
We have improved on set pieces.
So
look at this way, right? Defensively, I feel like we were fairly sound today. We conceded 5 shots all game. That's not bad for an informed Man United team.
Right.
Yeah, but they're still Man U.
Yeah, but it's still Man U with a 250 million pound.
And just because they only had 5 shots, it doesn't exactly mean we outmarked them not to have the shots. They just weren't shooting today a lot of the times. It was like they was almost trying to do what we was trying to do at one point, and that was walk it in the back of the net, the way I see that one. I mean, the marking for the second goal, we give it to the little and play. It was there on his own, basically.
Yeah,
how can you say that's defending?
Benji, we've all played football in our life. I promise you, defending corners, it's not that hard. I don't know why, but managers just overcomplicate the simplest stuff. Put your tallest man on the best players. It's that easy. But why is Johnson covering De Ligt? And you know De Ligt is their best. Him and Maguire are their best at corners. You know that.
He's 6'4" and De Ligt, I think.
Yeah,
he's a big boy.
You put Van de Ven you put Denzel on him. Denzel can jump.
I think you've gone a bit far there, Dietrich, on saying they're easy, yeah. But I do
they're easy to defend.
Make a meal of it as such, yeah. I mean, how we left him totally open like that on the back post? That is why I say, Ben, Dr. Tottenham on a fucking plate. Because all he had to do was look at it basically, and it was going in. He didn't even have to put effort into it.
Yeah,
even if Johnson was marking one of us, you just get out of the way, boy, and you push him over. He's nothing.
And it does leave the question though: why have we not got a bigger player at the back post? Because again, when you set up for corners, you always have your 3 tallest players: far post, back post, back post, front post, and central. Always. So it always.
But once again, they're easy. You just found a solution. They're easy to defend. It's just people overcomplicate the stupidest stuff with the man marking, zonal marking, all this garbage.
Dietrich, do you not see a corner kick as a 50-50?
No. No. Corner kicks are not a 50-50 because I'll tell you why. Because you're always in front of the defender, not in front of the attacker. So you have the advantage. You're in front of him. So basically, you just got to jump.
You see less goals go in with a corner than more goals going with a corner. But a corner is always a good opportunity. A dead ball is always a good opportunity.
It's a good opportunity. But if you give someone 20 corners, he might score 3 at most. Or 4 or 5.
It's not a majority that you get in with the
exactly.
Corners. It's just that I thought the marking today, when it actually mattered, was bad. I mean, Vicario, that second one, and Mbeumo's header just float past him and get into De Ligt's header. Some could say he was partly to fault with it. There was no power in him whatsoever. But for me, the second one was just as bad with the marking and that. And I think we can all 3 of us can agree, Porro had a fucking awful game.
It was a stinker.
Passing was terrible. He couldn't dribble the ball today. He couldn't cross the ball today. The way Mbeumo got behind him, it was not good. I mean,
but then you might be right. He genuinely might be burnt out because
that wouldn't surprise me.
Game after game.
It wouldn't surprise me. Then why is he getting played? But then
I don't know
if Dogi's
because the alternative,
if Dogi's fit or not.
Yeah,
I don't know if Dogi's fit or not.
The alternative with Spence on the right and Udogie on the left, there's nothing wrong with that in my opinion. But I just want to go back to Vic real quick, right? Something I don't like to see is the level of shite people talk about Vicario. Like,
Okay.
so straight after the game, I'm seeing people lose their fucking mind. And I sat there and I just thought, like, these people seem to forget Vicario has been outstanding for the last 3 weeks. He had that shaky period, didn't he, just before? And he's been absolutely, he's saved us games single fucking handedly, Vicario, twice this season, if memory serves.
I'd say about 3.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. 3. I mean, he's had some fucking man of the match performances. All I'll say is this about Vicario. Yeah, he could have done better today. But at the end of the day, look, everyone has an off day. I'm not that mad at Vic considering what he's done for us lately. When a player performs as well as Vic,
he wasn't totally at fault today. It wasn't.
No, 100%. But then people also go, "Oh, he's fucking terrible at corners." I personally think he's massively improved. Yeah, he's not great, but I think he's massively improved in that area.
So what you're basically saying, Ben, you're basically saying what I say about Porro. He's still a shit defender, but he's got better, and that's only because he was goddamn terrible. Yeah, Vicario, I do think he has improved on coming out to catch the ball as such. But again, do you know what would suit Vicario most? Go back 10, 15 years. Brilliant goalkeeper. When the job for a goalkeeper was stay on your line. As a sweeper keeper, he's not good. He's not good at commanding the box. He's not good at coming out. He's not good at passing the ball and everything. But he has been brilliant for us on the shot stopping reflexes. And I've said this for ages. Reflex shot stopping without a moment to think. He's one of the best out there in the Premier League. No two ways about it. And he's got plenty of credit for what he's done. But then you're also going to have to, just because someone's had quality games, you also spot out when they've had a bad one as well. It's got to work both ways. And today, he didn't have a good game, but I don't think he was totally to fault for both the goals. I think the marking was worse for that.
Ben, I'll explain you why people slag him off, and I believe it's a bit warranted. It's a warranted on him. The hardest thing it's freaking stopping the ball, which is reflexes. It's one of the hardest things to do as a goalkeeper, and I don't know why he's bloody good at it. But the easy stuff, which is just run, catch the ball, punch the ball, it's not that hard. He just lacks at it, and that's the problem.
And he doesn't command his box when it matters either. You can hear him when the ball's up the other end of the pitch, but when it comes into our box, he shuts up, and I don't know why.
If it's ball-playing goalkeeper, for me...
See, now, hold up. Dan, you say that, but we've got plenty of friends that go to the game week in, week out, and they have all said to us he really does command his box quite well. I don't know if you don't see it on TV, but...
Well, no, on TV, I'm sorry, on TV, Ben, you see more than what they do at the ground to an extent, yeah? I see the camera focused on him and not saying a word half the time. Yeah, I mean, and what's getting said here, when people slag off keepers have never played in fucking goal, well, I used to be a goalkeeper and had trials for my county, mate.
Oh, fuck off, Dan. You've been a striker, a midfielder. Fuck off. He ain't been he's lying, you know. He ain't been a fucking keeper.
Fuck off. I used to be a keeper and then I got put in DM. I was too short for back in the day when I went for the trials. That was why I lost out on it. 5'10".
Oh, you're taller than me. I'm only 5'9", bastard.
Yeah, and that was why I didn't get through on the county, basically, playing for Kent. It was because back in them days, you had to be 6'5" and you had to be a goal line goalkeeper. It weren't about being a sweeper keeper. These days, it is. A goalkeeper needs so much more in him. I think Vicario has done really good for us of late, but he still has his faults as such. But when it's reflex shopping, I don't think there's many better out there than him.
No.
And Mike Mignon.
And, you know, right, with Romero today, yeah? There's going to be a lot of people that defend him. A lot of people don't. I think he had a bad game today. Again, this is again what I've been saying. When people have said he's had a brilliant season, I don't think he's changed. I think with him, you see 5 excellent games, and you see, on a rating, you'll see a 10, a 9, an 8, an 8, a 7. And then all of a sudden, you'll see him have a 2, a 5, a 4, a 6. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he'll have a 10 out of 10 again. He's so inconsistent. And today, I don't know about you two, to me, he looked lazy almost.
Do you know what he was good at? Usually defenders should be good at defending, winning their duels, everything. He was better going forward than defending. He knew how to pass the ball through the middle, made some key passes. But when it came to actual defending, he looked lazy and he looked sluggish.
I mean, one of the times the ball came to him and the way he went to clear it, he literally floated it to their bloody attacker.
Yeah, and the yellow card was so dumb. I don't understand why he made that side tackle.
That was just frustration. I don't think he was that bad today, boys. I think when you limit a team for the 5 shots on goal, I don't think any of your defence could have been playing that bad.
Yeah, but
In
if
my
you
opinion.
compare,
Let me go to that. Hang on a sec. Mike as well. I've sent you a link, mate. If you want to jump on, feel free. Look, when he's your captain, you expect at least 8, and he's meant to be this world-class player. You expect at least 8 out of 10 performances. This is why, for me, until I see consistency, I will never, ever, ever call him a world-class player.
Do you not think he's improved on his consistency?
No.
I agree with that. He did improve.
I don't think he has.
No,
I think he's gone from 50-50 to 60-40, personally.
yeah, but that's
Okay,
not.
if you want to go, no, if you want to go like that, okay, I'll step back a bit on that. Okay, I could go with that. Yeah, he's had more good games than bad games, but with him, it's either one or the other. There don't seem to be an in-betweener with it. With him, it seems to be either he has a brilliant game, and he always turns up for the massive games, no two ways about it. But it seems like the smaller games or the games he can't be bothered, he just sort of like, meh, I can't be bothered with it. And this is why I can't call him world class. He's way too inconsistent. One day you get a 10, the next day you get a 2. You never know who's going to turn up with him. And having that as a captain is a problem. And a world class player being like that, never in a million years. Not for me. This is why I can't call him world class.
I'll tell you something. This will make you laugh. This has been the best Romero performance a game before an international break. Yeah,
but that's not hard.
Yeah, right. Think about it for a second. Give it a minute.
Yeah, but that's not exactly positive, for God's sake.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I mean, if you want to look at it this way, yeah, compare him to Van der Ven, who's had, bar a game or two games I can think of, who has had a consistent season so far? Van der Ven.
In the Spurs shirt?
Well,
Van der Ven and Paul.
Oh, God, Van der Ven, talking about defenders. Whereas Romero has brilliant games and then he has piss poor games. He just jumps up and down. You never know who's going to turn up. And there were several times today where I just thought he just didn't look interested. I'm not saying it was the worst game ever he had, but it was definitely not a good game. But for a captain, sorry, Dietrich, go on, mate.
No, I'd rather have a player that gives me a 7 out of 10 every week than Romero that gives me one day a 9 out of 10, another week a 8 out of 10, and then the third week gives me a 6, a 3, a 5, comes back to a 7.
Oh, Dietrich, I'll show you a question then. Right now, for the rest of the season, would you rather have Danso at the back, who's going to give you that 7 out of 10 every game, or Romero? Who are you honestly taking out of the two to play the start the rest of the games for the rest of the season?
I'll tell you this. If I need to defend, and especially against the lower bottom teams, I would put Danso. Because Romero, I don't know, for some reasons, always plays bad against the lower positions.
Yeah, he doesn't get hyped up for it, does he?
He doesn't get hyped up
at times.
But the issue is we do not have any creativity. So you do need Romero sometimes.
He can pass the ball bloody well.
He can pass the ball. Defender. But if I'm talking me like that plays center back on my left, I'd rather be Danso than Romero. Because I know I'm going to be consistent and do my job.
On the defensive sides, I'm with Dietrich there, yeah? So the way I describe it, I know you never see 38 games out of a player, yeah? But let's just say they both play 38 games over the season, yeah? And by the end of the season, you're going to rate them on the points they stack up per game, whether it's a 4, a 10, a 9, an 8, whatever, by the end of the season, yeah? By the points at the end of the season, I'd lay money on it. Danso will have a better season than Romero. I'm not saying Danso will give 10 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, that Romero will, but Danso won't give you a 2 or a 3. You know?
But then the crazy thing is, Dan,
every game. By the end of the season, I think Danso would be light years ahead of him on points because you will see consistency.
But here's the backwards thing on that point you just made, and I do agree with it to an extent. Who'd you rather pick in a final, though? This is Romero. What's annoying about fucking Romero.
But you see, right? Final. But you see, that's the thing. If you put context, final, I would take Romero any day of the week.
Yes.
Any day of the week, because I know he's going to give me a 10 out of 10. But when it's about being consistent, which the Premier League is 38 games, the guy's not it. But one final, I'm taking him.
Yeah, it's such a backwards concept.
It is. He always turns up for the finals.
There is no two ways about it. He always does.
Even for
But fellas, overall, we've agreed he has improved on his consistency this year. It's not to where we want it to be.
slightly.
Okay,
But
like I
Yes,
said,
slightly.
I step back from that. I step back. Not 50-50. I can go with
No.
a 60-40. I can go with that. That's a fair point. I'll step back from that bit. But as a captain, that still ain't fucking good enough.
Mm.
And as a world-class player, that still ain't bloody good enough. But fair point there. That's why I say I'll step back from that one. Last season, 50-50. Yeah, I called it 60-40.
It might have been less
Today,
than 50-50, Dan, last season.
either way, yeah, there is a slight improvement,
Mm.
but it's just not good enough for your bloody captain, whatever. When you see other defenders go out there and be a lot more consistent, like Van der Ven. I mean, Van der Ven, now he doesn't have to run back from a halfway line. We were all interested, could he actually sit back as a centre-back and do the job? But for me, again, Romero today did not have a good game and not as a captain. I mean,
Has
so
Van der Ven answered that question for you, Dan? Because for me, it
yes,
has.
so far it has. Yes, I think he's looked brilliant this season. Bar maybe 2 games, I think he has looked. He's been our joint best player with Paulinho. I mean, he got caught out for Mbremo's first goal as well, like with that awkward pass from Sarr. It sort of caught him a bit off guard as such. But in general, I think he was good today, and I think one thing that you could definitely put him an extra point on was where he saved our ass with that fucking tackle.
As good as
But
a
if
goal.
that was-
As good as a goal.
If that was 1 second later, that tackle, that would have blatantly been a red card and a penalty. I thought he got that tackle spot on. You can give him an extra point for that one. I thought Van der Ven had a good game overall. I mean, if I was
Solid.
going to rate him, I'd say he was a 7, and I think he had a good game.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, mate. Van der Ven has really, really shone bright this year. Yeah, today, I'd probably, that tackle alone, I'd probably go with an 8 for me.
Puts you up 1. Well, tell you what, just quickly, I'll go back on it. Since we've only done 3 of them, I mean, what would you have rated Vicario today? I'll give him a 6. He didn't have much to do, but he did make a cock up for one of them. I'll give him a 6. Wasn't terrible, but wasn't good.
He didn't do anything special because for me, when you start, you start with the 5 out of 10. So I'll give him a 5.
Okay, fair enough. Then
Do you know what? I'll probably agree with you, Dan. I'll go 6. I actually thought his distribution was a little bit better today as well. But yeah, overall, his positioning for both goals that came in wasn't great. And as Dietrich's alluded to, you know, he's not coming out and making himself big in those moments, which he's had issues with in the past. So yeah, for me, barely a 6.
So on Porro, then quickly, I'll give him a 3, and that's being nice.
Yeah, again,
Give
I
him
agree.
a 2. I'll give him a 2.
Yeah, and I couldn't argue with that one either. And when it comes to Romero, I'll give him a 5, a 4 even. No, 5. I'll go for a 5 with him.
I'll give him a 5.
I'm going for 6 personally.
Okay, fair enough. And then Van der Ven, I would give him a 7, but just for that tackle alone, like that goal the other day, I'll give him an extra point and I'll give him an 8. But that's purely because of that tackle. That tackle was literally world-class defending, in my opinion.
I wanted to give him a 9, but we conceded 2 goals, so I have to give him an 8.
It's fair enough. I mean, and then we come to Spence today.
Spence was garbage.
I thought Spence had probably one of the worst games I've seen him play for us. I think he looked better when he switched over to the right-hand side, but on the left, I do think he had a poor game. And there were several times with him where you do see the problem with him, where he got the ball up there, and if it would have been a left-footed player, would have been perfect to get the ball in, but he had to step out onto his right-hand side. So I can't necessarily blame him for that because he's right-footed. But that is one of the not so good games I've seen him play for us.
You see what Spence...
I'd give him a 5. I think that was bad. What are your opinions on him?
For me, Spence is like the type of player that you put him on the left if you're not going to have the ball and you just want him to isolate the winger. But against Man U, you need to progress the ball, so that's why it doesn't work having him on the left. But, for example, in 2 weeks against Arsenal, I want to see Spence on the left because I know he's going to man-mark Saka. And for me, his touches, his passing, everything was atrocious today. For me, ever since He went to the England. No, he got selected for the England squad. His standards just dropped. He's too
So what would you
cocky.
rate him today?
For me, it was a 4.
Damn. Okay.
But
fair
go on,
play.
finish
For
what
me-
you were saying, Dietrich. Finish what you were saying. You
No,
said
I'm just saying, like, he needs to improve, and he needs to. I know, like, every player like has attitude and like loves to be cocky, but he needs to like chill out a bit and just improve as an overall player. Like, you're not at that standards yet. And for me, like, the way he can control the ball, the way he can pass, even he looks lazy at times, like with defending 1-on-1. Like, he doesn't
does
cover
look
his man. He looks lazy.
He does look a little bit lazy at times. I'll give you that. He does. And at other times, he looks good. As I say, as a complete player, I would say you can get more out of him than you can Porro or Dogi as a complete player as such, because he can attack, even though he's not great at it, but he's bloody good at defending. Whereas a Dogi, okay at defending, but good at getting forward, and Porro can't defend for shit, but very good at getting forward. You know? But yeah, I thought he had a howler. He big time. I mean, Ben?
Spence is a real strange one for me, actually. In the past, he used to take his man on, burn up the pitch with lightning pace. That seems to have really died down with him. But in terms of today, I'll probably give him a 6, because when he did switch over to the right, he shut Mbuemo down. Yeah, so for me, and I fully agree with what you boys are saying. He seemed poor on the left, he did. But when he switched over to the right, he was much, much better. And Man United brought their favourite winger, and he ate. So, yeah, for me, I'll have a 6 with Spence. I wasn't impressed in the first half.
No, I'll give him a 5 because I thought he was that bad on the left. But I agree with what Roberto said here. He was much better on the right than on the left. And I think he was. And I think he did make a difference there to an extent. He was significantly better there. But I just thought on the left today, he looked absolutely terrible. Whereas on the left, a lot of the time, he's actually looked good. So again, that's another one. Bar Van de Ven, basically, our whole back four did not have a good game, the way we've just judged it. So when it comes to Sarr, I mean, there was not even any pressure on him, for God's sake, for that goal. And he just totally fucked it up big time and was the start of the goal for us, basically. I think he totally screwed that up. Again, today, I could understand why we started Sarr. I could understand it, to get the press out of it and then to have Paulinho cover your DM, basically. Again, another one. He's a player that I find hard to rate in any means or manner. I think he's in the wrong sport, personally. I think he should be an athlete. He should go running around the track like 3-4 times. I do not think he is in the right sport. I think he's actually a better athlete than he is a footballer. But overall, I mean, now and again, you see a goal out of him. Now and again, you see a pass out of him. But 9 times out of 10, when he gets the ball, he runs about with it. But you get nothing off of it. And today, I thought he was exactly the same. I mean, again, today, I'll give him a 5. I thought he was not good today.
For me, fuck it. Look, listen, I feel like Sarr gets more criticism than he perhaps should. I think the problem with Sarr is he's not been played consistently, especially when he was on that fantastic run for us where he was scoring goals. He was doing fantastic defensive work.
Where 2 of them were in friendlies.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, regardless, you know, you carry that form into the season, do you not?
No, you don't.
Well, I've seen a lot of players do so. I mean, look, all I'm saying is this much, right? I'd say when Sarr came in today, I feel like he did his job. At least he did what he was good at. And unfortunately, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and say he had a great game because he didn't. I'd be lying to myself. But I don't think he was awful. I feel like he had a job to do.
Okay, Benji.
And he carried it out.
Okay, can you please answer me this question? You play football, right? Just using your football mind, no emotional attachment, nothing. Can you name me Pape Sarr's main qualities as a footballer? Keyword footballer.
His main qualities. So you're not talking about his engine or
No, because I can me and Dan we can run, and it doesn't mean we have to get paid 150.
Okay. See, for me, I would look at someone like Sarr and say he is a bit of an all-rounder. I'd say he doesn't excel at anything, but he's capable of everything. He
No,
can
but I'm saying
score a
like
goal. He can make an interception.
no, his three main qualities, something that he's when you see him, you're like, yeah, you can do it. For example, Paulinho can tackle, can win his duels, can cover the space.
Yeah. He doesn't really possess any outstanding footballing qualities.
And that's the problem. And that's the problem.
Okay, all right. But there are plenty of engines. I mean, look at someone like Dirk Kuyt. Massive engine man. He didn't particularly stand out in any aspect.
The kind of engine I would love to is like I'm not saying like they exist, but like for example, Paul Scholes can run around, can pass, can tackle, can do a bit of everything.
But you're talking about.
I'll take that last bit off. No, I'll take that last bit. Paul Scholes couldn't defend for shit. He could not.
No, but like
he could get a fucking red card, though, couldn't he? God damn,
he was one of the worst tacklers out there. Paul Scholes.
No, but he wasn't bad at it.
Oh, fuck off, man! He was terrible.
He wasn't
If
great.
anything, I mean, these days he wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes on the pitch if he went in for a tackle.
Don't forget, me and Dan are
wrong.
old enough to have watched that guy.
Don't get me wrong.
He was
excellent player, but he weren't a he was not defensive minded.
In fact, so bad was he at it that he'd lose his mind and cause a foul on purpose. He got so many red cards.
Yeah, but those are the kind of tacklers I like.
Yeah, fuck it, fair enough.
Anyway, go back to Sarr.
No, okay, engines. Someone that's a good engine would be like in midfield. Look at Declan Rice.
Yeah,
that's the kind of engine I would love at Spurs.
Because you actually get a player there as well, not just someone that can run.
Or at Wolves, João Gomez can tackle, can move up, can carry the ball, can pass.
Yeah, I'll tell you what a fucking name you've just mentioned there, mate.
Or McGinn.
Aggressive passing this year gets over anybody in our current team.
Or Scott just said McGinn. Like, those are the covered engines I want to see at Spurs.
Yeah.
Not Pape Matasor.
Yeah. I mean, for me today, I'll give him a 5. You two?
I'll give him a 3.
Oh.
He was bad.
I'll go 5 as well.
Yeah, and
it
see
wasn't
what
great.
I mean. You're starting to look at this now, and you're starting to think. Other people saying we had the better game today. We deserve to win that today.
No,
maybe just us three are seeing it different, yeah. But we've actually said out of everyone, we've only said one player so far that we actually think had a significant game.
The fact that Matthias Tell and Richarlison scored for us means we deserve to lose this game.
I wouldn't go that far, but we come to that. We come to that, and so with what Lynn's saying here, question to you all: because of Sarr's pace, would you play him off the wing and can cross the ball in rather than trying to be an engine? No, I wouldn't.
No,
because I don't think he could cross or pass the ball very well. I get the point where you're going at, but no, I'd rather give Porro a go on the wing than him. But it's, it's where do you go from there, sort of thing. I don't think he can pass or cross the ball consistently enough at all to even look on him on a wing. But I get the point you're coming from. You're looking at him purely for pace there.
His best position would be on the sideline just training.
Oh, boys, fucking hell. He's not that bad, fellas.
Yeah,
but he ain't that good.
Benji.
He could be.
Benji, you're older. Benji, you're older.
Terrible.
Benji, you're older than me. You've seen some.
Go on, you two. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah.
Well, not much, mate.
No, not by much, but you've seen some crazy good players in your lifetime.
Yes.
Are you telling me that Pape Matasor is a prem player?
Yeah. Do I think he's a prem player? Do I think
when I say
prem, to play in the Premier League, is that what you mean?
Not good enough to be on the team that's trying to reach the top 10. And to be a consistent starter, not on the squad, consistent starter.
To reach the top 10, yes. To crack the top 4,
no.
Maybe not. Look, again, you are talking to someone who has seen the best of Sarr, man of the match performances, and really enjoyed watching him. I understand
but I've
his
seen-
consistency issues, and I also understand the fact he doesn't play week in, week out. But you are talking to someone that kind of likes Sarr and feels like if he was playing.
I've seen Winks having man of the match against Madrid.
Oh, you're going
He's
to hit me with that.
No,
Fuck's
but
sake.
like,
Yeah,
no,
fair
but
enough.
like, I've seen what's his name, Skip score a banger against Chelsea, and we won at home. Like, it doesn't matter. You can have a good game, but it still doesn't make you good enough. I've seen
Yeah, for
Johnson
sure.
scoring a final, and I've seen Spurs' second trophy in my lifetime.
So, do you really not rate Sarr at all then?
No, I don't rate Sarr. I don't rate Bentancur's. I don't rate Johnson's. I don't
Don't
want to.
fucking mention Bentancur around Dan, mate. He'll have a fit.
No. He
Jesus.
knows. He knows. If you can tell me you're getting Locatelli, I'll take Bentancur from his house to the airport.
Right, so go on. Where were you two with? Where were you two at?
No,
Sorry,
he just
had to sort something out there.
we're just talking about like having players like Sarr, Bentancur is like inconsistent, not good enough to the standards we want to reach. If you can give me Locatelli, Joe Gomez, I'll be the happiest man on earth. And these players are not like the world class or like elite talents. They're just consistent midfielders.
Again, it comes to a lot of it being a good player comes down to being consistent. And that
Yes.
is one thing we do lack in our team, consistency. I mean, me personally, I haven't rated Sarr for a while, but squad player, okay, for what we've got at the moment, yeah, but he's not one that I would like to. He's not one that I.
You don't want to see him in a consistent starting lineup, basically.
Never.
No,
Okay.
I don't, because I honestly
If-
don't think he's good enough at the end of the day in that aspect.
And look, would he make the bench at Arsenal? No.
No,
So there you go. You need.
Not with their depth, but yeah.
Okay, would he make the bench at City? No. Liverpool? No. Chelsea? No.
Yeah.
Hell no.
but come on, you're picking some of the better teams there. But then would he even then? But I think the way to put this one, Dietrich, yeah, forget them. Yeah, I mean,
Would
they
he
are
make
who they
Aston
are, yeah.
Villa? No.
No. Would he make Newcastle?
No.
No, I'll fuck off. He makes Aston Villa and Newcastle.
No, he doesn't.
He
No,
makes
I'll
Aston
lay
Villa
off,
and
Ben. He
Newcastle
does
on the
not
bench.
make Newcastle in a
Fuck
million
off.
years.
Benji.
Are you
Listen,
telling
chat,
me
help me
he's-
out here. What do you lot think? That's
Benji,
bullshit. There's no
Benji.
way.
Are you
Yeah,
telling me
more-
he's better than Tonali?
No,
bench.
Aston
We're
Villa.
talking about bench.
He said Aston Villa.
No.
We're
No,
talking
he-
about
he
bench.
also said
He said,
Newcastle.
do you feel like he'd make the bench for these clubs?
Okay.
No.
You can't tell me Sarr don't make the bench for Villa or Newcastle.
No, he doesn't. Because they have Kamara, Onana, Morgan Rogers, McGinn.
Yeah,
He doesn't-
he's right. He's right. He's right on that one.
Fellas, I can't agree
He's
with that.
right
I'm
on
sorry.
that one. He's right with that one, I think. Well, the ones he's just named that go on the bench there and that, he's right. And he definitely doesn't get on the bloody pitch with them either. He's not that good. That's just it. He has moments. And don't get me wrong, the engine
Harvey
is better.
Elliott.
He's good.
Actually, I'll name you them. They have McGinn, Tielemans, Harvey Elliott, Buendia, Onana, and Rogers and Kamara. He doesn't make the bench.
He's got fair points, mate. I'm sorry.
And Newcastle-
listen, it's
and
only my
Newcastle-
opinion, fellas.
And
It's only my
Newcastle,
opinion.
he
No,
would
that's fair
never.
enough.
And Newcastle, I swear to God, he would never touch the pitch.
Never in a million years, not unless there was
Hold on.
injuries to everyone. They've got one of the best midfields about in the aspect of pure power they got there. And I think Tonali is a very, very underrated player.
For me, he's the second best midfielder in the Prem.
What
I'm
I
going to
don't know about second best, but I'd say he's in the top four.
I'm going to go look at Newcastle's last game and check their fucking lineups. Who's on the bench?
Linton, Tonali, Gomoras, Lewis.
Hold up, listen. I'll throw this out there, right? Are you telling me, Sarr? All right, look. So on the bench for them, they've got Fabian Schär, Harvey Barnes, Oshula, Alanga, Ramsey, Hall, Willock, Ramsdale, Millie. Are you honestly telling me Sarr?
Ramsey's a more consistent player than Sarr. And I still don't rate this guy.
Yeah.
Willock?
I mean, do you even see him starting?
He's better
at
than
Wolves?
Willock.
Yeah, well, there you go. So he gets in on the bench.
No. Willock
That's
is
it.
better than him, sorry.
You
Willock is
think
better than
Willock's
him.
better than Sarr?
Yeah.
Really?
I think that one's a bit closer. I think that one's a little bit closer. But the point is, at the end of the day, Ben even struggles to get in any of the teams that are meant to be on par with us, basically. I mean, does he even start for Wolves over Gomez?
No.
No, fuck no. But that's only because Gomez is in such amazing form.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you still don't start for Wolves, and where are Wolves at the moment?
They're in the relegation.
Yeah. This is
Does
what
he
I mean. He
doesn't even
he's
start
not-
for Sunderland. Do you know how crazy it is? Even Sunderland.
Yeah, that's
I
mad.
mean,
They've got some crazy
Newcastle's
players,
midfield is one of my favourite midfields because of the way it plays. Now, I'm not saying they got the best players there, yeah, but I love the power in the midfield. Bit of an old school sort of thing. Not quite a Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira, Katassu sort of thing, but, you know, they've got that bit of power. I think Tonali is a fucking good player, and I think he's very, very underrated.
I would take Joe Linton any day of the week in my squad.
All right, Lou, mate.
I so agree. All right, Ian, how you doing? Do you enjoy the game?
Did I enjoy the game? Very frustrating ending. Vicario didn't make a save the whole game. All he did was pull the ball out from the behind the line.
Did you meet Archie Gray?
Did I miss Archie Gray? Yeah, we did miss Archie Gray. Because Sarr was at fault for the first goal.
Yes, that's what we're just talking about. We're on Sarr at the moment.
And I went back because I said at the time that was down to Benson. And I went back when I got home before. Went back and watched literally from Richarlison's goal, and Benson, of course, come out with the ball and tried to play a stupid ball to the right. And United didn't lose possession after that before the ball hit the back of the net. So why Benson, of course, trying to play a stupid pass out? God only knows. He could have held it. You know, it's all about game management. And that's where he let us down. He's a senior pro. As far as the corner's concerned, Van der Ven was on Lenny Yoro. Yoro's taken Van der Ven in pitch. He's taken him away from the back post. And he's left De Ligt. And De Ligt's gone in and then out and left Johnson for dead. Johnson's ball watching. So
why was Johnson even there?
Why is Johnson even there? Well, the only other person that you would think, Romero's off. And Richarlison.
You think Van der Ven would be the one to cover him, really, because of the size?
No. He was on Lenny Yoro. Lenny Yoro's 6'4".
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. That is a fair point. Yeah.
So,
okay.
And it was a brilliant corner from Bruno. It was a fantastic cross. You know, if you're looking for pinpoint accuracy on a corner, that was it.
It was a good corner, but still, and defending Yoro's on it was poor.
Shocking. Yoro, as I say, Yoro's taken Mickey away. There's no Romero on the pitch. Why? I don't know why Dan So or Richarlison weren't on. They could have been on. What do you call it? And Buemo's taking the kick. Cunha's off the pitch. Sesko's off the pitch. I don't know why Dan So or Richie weren't marking De Ligt. Why it was left to Johnson. How can you let probably the second or third best header of the ball, you know, on the pitch at the time, be marked by Johnson? And for me, that was the mistake. And
am I crazy and sitting here thinking before every game you would say to you'd have your team meeting and you'd say, right, who are we picking to mark who on corners? Do you not think that's something that happens? Because I thought I would do.
Yeah, I get that, but I think during the game, this is where sometimes a player has to use his fucking common sense. You are allowed to have your own brain on the pitch. Yes, majority of what you do as you're told. But I'm sorry, you got to have your own brain on the bloody pitch. Make your own flipping decisions. We're not playing FIFA here. Yeah, where the manager directs everything. I mean, Ian, for what we've gone through, some people have said that we had a good game and deserve to win. I don't think we had a good game at all. But I just think I thought Man U had a worse game overall. The way we've gone through it quickly, just so you can get this quickly in. Vicario, very average game. I think he was partly at fault for the second goal, but not fully at fault for it, sort of thing. I think he could have done better, but I don't think he was totally at fault like some others have said. Porro, absolute crap. Spence, nothing until he got on the right-hand side. Romero, one of his bang average off days today, where he's so up and down. Van der Ven, actually a good game, and especially that tackle puts him up another level. That was a world-class tackle.
What a fucking tackle. I celebrated that like it was a goal.
You know what? That was a red card and a penalty if you'd have got that wrong.
That's exactly what I said as well. 1 second longer, and that would have been he'd have been off, and you wouldn't have been able to say shit to it either. Yeah,
and then he'd have been missing at the Emirates.
Exactly. Yeah, and with that as well, we've then gone to Sarr, who not even average, had a shit game as well, and we're just basically talking about Sarr at the minute on how he wouldn't even get into any of the top teams, and he wouldn't see Newcastle or Aston Villa, and he'd be lucky if he wouldn't even see their subs.
Lumo, save me here. Would he get on the bench of Aston? Bear in mind, like Newcastle got players like Willock on the bench. Would Sarr get in the bench on the bench? Sorry, of Aston Villa and Newcastle, in your opinion?
Newcastle have got, what have they got? 4? They've got 4 top midfield players.
Yes, they do. Yeah, yeah.
They've got Joe Linton, Bruno, Tonali.
Yeah.
And there's one more, isn't there? They've got. I'm trying to think. Can't think. Would he get on the bench? Possibly, but sort of like 5th choice, 6th choice.
Yeah, fair enough.
So basically, it doesn't make it unless there's injuries and injuries.
Because you got Lewis Miley as well there. I can't remember much else.
Ramsey?
Who, sorry?
Ramsey?
He's more of a winger, isn't he?
Is Ramsey a winger? Who am I thinking?
He does play in the middle at times as well. He's sort of like one that...
I
He's
thought
like
he did,
McGinn.
yeah.
He's like McGinn at Villa. You can sort of play him out wide, but you can play him in the middle as well, sort of thing. He's one of them. But he don't... I thought he had a bad game today. I mean, what the hell was he doing for that thing that screwed us up for the first one?
Did you see Mickey having a pop at him at half time?
Yes, like why the fuck did you do that? Basically.
So can we move on to the main man in Tottenham in Paulinho?
Hang on, Dan. You were going through midfield. Paulinho, I thought, had a decent game.
That's who we're coming to now. We're just going on to Paulinho now. Paulinho, I think he had a good game. Wasn't, I'd say, the best game I've seen him play for us, but it wasn't poor by anyone's standards. One of our better players on the pitch. Definitely more consistent. Done, as usual, what was asked for him in the game, most of it. And did even try and get the ball forward at times. I mean, I'll give him a 7 easy because he had a respectable game and definitely better than anyone else, pretty much anyone else out there. Yeah. He is a consistent player. Like I said, not the best I've ever seen him play, but he didn't have a bad game. Not at all. Again, along with him and Van der Ven, are 2 best players that we've had so far this year. So go on, what would you three have said about Paulinho?
And Kudus as well. I think that those 3 have been the best 3. What did I think of? Sorry, which player now, Dan?
Paulinho.
Yeah, no, I think Paulinho had a solid game without being outstanding. He got about his. He's that sort of player, isn't he? That the players on the pitch appreciate. You don't notice him much. You'll notice Xavi spin on the ball and play a ball wide. They want to go, oh, look at that. But people don't notice so much the work that Paulinho does. I think another good game. I didn't object to in terms of the team selection. I was surprised that he went on the left. To be honest with you, that he played Richie and Spence on the left hand side. I thought the first half was poor. Both sides I thought were poor. I thought there was nothing in it particularly. There were all you literally had. United had the goal, which we gave them
on a plate. That is why I called it Dr. Tottenham. We gave them both on a plate.
And for attacking, I thought Johnson put that gorgeous ball in that Richie should have buried with his head.
Yeah,
should have buried.
I mean, that's a question. Go on, Ian. Sorry, finish what you said.
So for the first half, that's all we had. Second half, thought we came out well. Shane Romero hasn't got a left foot because he should have buried that chance. Then the keeper made that save from Paulinho. Then you had the third attack where Richie gave it to Johnson instead of Odegaard, gave it the wrong way, and Odegaard was offside. Sorry, Johnson was offside for the goal. Then it was very patchy, and then Spurs started getting into it. The last 20 minutes, and for me, I thought Odegaard was superb, absolutely superb today, second half. And look at Tell when he came on. He didn't give him long. Fabulous turn and shot.
Oh,
superb.
I mean, it had a little deflection on it, but I don't think that matters. I thought he'd done well there. I mean, so we can all agree there. I mean, what do you two say about Paulinho? I mean, like I say, I'll give him 7. I think he had a respectable game.
I mean, for me, Paulinho this season. I mean, little stat for you. So Paulinho has got, before this game today, had 44 tackles, successful tackles in the Premier League, which is yet again the highest in the league, or the second in a row for him, actually, because before he left the Bayern, he also had the highest tackle rate. Paulinho, right, so when Cootie first came to the club, when Romero came to the club, he made me fall in love with defending. I love his hard-hitting style of defending. And it made me really appreciate it a bit more. Paulinho is making me fall in love with what a decent number 6 can bring to the table. That guy is absolutely sublime. I won't lie, today he wasn't as noticeable as he's been for a while. But I've got to say this much. I'm absolutely in love with Paulinho. I think he's fantastic. Today,
I wanted him
I'd
after
say,
his first season at Fulham.
Mate, honestly, I had no idea how good he is. And it just goes to show how desperate we were for someone like Paulinho in the squad for the last few years.
Nearly any good team, Ben, has always had a good,
for sure.
had a good six, has always had a good defensive.
And you can see we've been missing it for years. But yeah, for me, Paulinho today, I'll go a 7. He didn't really put a foot wrong, but absolutely in love with him. I think he's a brilliant player.
Yeah.
Hello,
Dietrich?
Paulinho, I said since he's Sporting, because I watch a bit of Sporting and I like their team. For me, he's the most underrated CDM that doesn't get the recognition that he deserves. The way Carragher made him look like a fool was absolutely disrespectful. And he's that good. Sure, I agree he's not the best. He's not a deep line playmaker, yes. But for a DM that tackles and scores goals for us, like he has, 3 goals this season for us?
4.
4? Even better, 4. He's been absolutely amazing. For me, after Van de Ven, he is our second best player at Spurs.
I can go with that one as well. Maz, how we doing, mate? You all right after that?
No, not really. It's I found that game really frustrating, to be honest with you. I thought we played absolutely terrible. I think Man United, I didn't agree with you when you said Man United played bad. I actually think they were really comfortable for most of the game. They got their goal and they looked controlled. They didn't look in trouble. They didn't look in trouble because we didn't do anything to make them be in trouble. I thought Porro was disgraceful today. He had a really poor game. I think he's been bad for quite a long time now, which is
we've
really
agreed
worrying.
on that. Yeah.
I thought Spence had a poor game. He didn't do anything majorly wrong that I can recall off the top of my head.
Slightly better when he went on the right.
Yeah, do you feel like he improved when he went to the right?
Well, he done one run, right, where he beat the fullback and crossed it in that I can remember. Over and above that one moment, yeah, I guess he done a bit better because he's on his stronger side and his more natural side. So, that's good, I guess. I think Mickey van der Ven is our best player. I think he's been our best player for the last 2-3 years now since he's been at the club.
What a fucking tackle.
Yeah, amazing tackle. He's just class, isn't he? He's thank God that we've got one player to hold in high regard over and above others, right? We've got Mickey van der Ven. I think Romero had an okay game. You know what he's like. One game he'll play really well, and the next game he'll be like his championship defender type thing. He's so up and down. I'm just.
That's why you can't call him world class, isn't it?
Hey, Maz, I got a question for you, real quick. Who's had a better season, Paulinho or Van der Ven?
Probably Van der Ven because he's our top goal scorer. He's won games for us, right? He's he's one of those players that when other teams look at him and see what he can do, they're like, yeah, if we could buy him, we would. Don't get me wrong, Paulinho has been very good for us. He's like Dietrich said, he's very underrated CDM, isn't he?
I've wanted him since his first season at Fulham.
Yeah, I think we said this like 2 years ago. Do you remember? Dan, when we said, "Oh, Paulinho at Fulham, bloody hell, we'll have him straight, off the bat."
And then Bayern Munich went and took him, went
and bought him. So it's just great that he's with us. I mean, we've got a danger, right? That if he does too well for us, Bayern Munich might want him back. So we've got to sort that situation out. But I'm at the stage now where I think, bloody hell, the only 2 players I would keep, assuming Paulinho says, or 3 players, is Van der Ven, Xavi, Paulinho, and get rid of the rest of them. I just don't care.
Even Kudus?
Xavi?
Sorry, Kudus. Yeah, I forgot about him. But because he wasn't playing today. But yeah, keep those 4 and get rid of the rest because, you can't bin Xavi on. He's getting into his stride, right? You're starting to see something from him, so you can't just beat him off straight away without giving him a chance. But I mean, how many years now has do we have to look at this squad that the previous regime has assembled and think, "Fuck me, what a waste of 400 million quid"? It hasn't solved any of our problems. In fact, it's made our problems worse.
So, Maz, you would saw our 4th top scorer in Richie.
Yeah, I would.
Let's just leave Richie till later. Let's leave him till later. I mean, I'd say Paulinho has been as good as Van der Ven. They play in different positions. I'd say he's been as consistent as Van der Ven this season. I think the issue with Kudus has been where a couple of games, I think we just ain't seen the best out of him at times because he just totally gets marked out the fucking game. But again, with what we're seeing, Paulinho had a good game. That's 2 players so far out of the whole team that have had a good game, basically. So I'll come on to the last ones here. We go through this quicker and then we can go into the game. I mean, for me, Johnson, apart from that brilliant cross he put in, it was Brendan Johnson.
Waste of space. It's an absolute waste of space. He's another disgrace of a football player. I mean, the fact that he can finish on occasion is his only feather in his cap. It's the only thing that saves him from he's like that's the only thing that separates him from being professional or not. That honestly, he's that bad. Look, I know that we nicked a point today, which is great. We should have won theoretically, but I am getting a bit concerned with what I'm seeing. And my concern doesn't match the reality in the sense that, yes, we are 3rd currently and we haven't lost many games this season. And there has been an odd 1 or 2 really good performances. But I just hope that Frank can get out of some of the consistent mistakes I'm seeing him make, because is he going to be one of those managers that we love him one week and we hate him the next? At least with Ange, we just hated him all the time. I think
the fan base are ridiculous. I think Frank is doing a great job with what he's got.
Oh, stop it, Ian. Oh, stop.
No, you stop it, Dietrich.
Stop it.
I was listening to you talking about corners before. Have you ever played football? Have you ever marked? I've marked. I organised defences at corners.
It's not. I said it's not as hard as.
Corners is all about being clever. All about being clever.
No, it's about being intelligent and not putting your shortest man on the best defender. Look, don't do stupid mistakes like that.
Frank does need time to get. I'm not calling for Frank out. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I don't think any of us are.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that just because he's come into a situation, this is what he's paid the big bucks for, right? He's paid
very true
to put us right over and above Ange, and to some aspects he absolutely has, but in other aspects he hasn't. Yet.
But when we see,
Maz, you can't do it all in 3 months. You can't,
no, but then how do other managers, when they come in, they have their new manager bounces, get it right?
Well, listen, Glasner didn't win a game in his first 9. Iriola didn't win a game in his first 10.
Oh, let's use this argument.
And the passage of time is still ahead of us, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we'll judge him as time goes on. What I'm saying now is I hope that I don't see what I'm seeing now in the future, because what will happen is you'll polarize the fan base even more. If we're having these types of performances, if 1 week we blow a team away and the next week we do this, right, then it's going to be a disaster. It's going to be almost like a Jose situation, right?
No, he doesn't have the players.
But stop. No, but name me one manager that had his players.
Well,
Name me one.
Jose didn't have his players.
Yeah, nobody has his players. So let's.
None of them.
Hang on. Let Ian say his bit. Go on, Ian.
None of them. Dietrich, none of them at our club get all the players they want.
Okay, so let's not give this.
But we're talking about Frank today. Because he's our manager today, and we can only judge. We're only talking. We're having a conversation 12 weeks in from the start of the season. The season's been going.
Yeah, but you can only we're judge. Well, the reason how I'm judging Frank is how I judge all the managers when they came in and the squads and how they dealt with the situation they were in at the time. And when you look at our previous managers, they came in and a lot of them done very well in the beginning with some would argue worse squads than what we had now, albeit we had Kane and the son in the team. So what I'm concerned about is if we're putting a lot of stock into these players, right, then why are we getting such dross 1 week and great the next? Right? It's not, these are meant to be intelligent people that can adapt to stats. They're professional footballers. But yet we're seeing absolute crap.
Would you agree, Maz, that away from home, the way he sets up and teams come onto us, we're a very good side counter-attacking. And 13 points out of 15 away from home shows that. At home, at home teams don't come out at Spurs. They don't attack us.
No, because he's
very rarely. So he's now got to change the way he plays. He's got to move the ball forward a lot quicker. Scott's right. We haven't got. I keep saying that we haven't got the players. We don't have the players.
So why doesn't he do what Jose did then and Conte? You see, that's for me. That's the difference.
Jose played pragmatic. Everybody moaned about the football that Jose played, but he didn't have the players. He had Davis, Sanchez, Tanganga. I mean, it was all he had literally was Romero.
Ian, can you answer this question? I've watched you, especially your take on Spurs 5. Yeah. When we won against Copenhagen 4-0, you said that was a masterclass for Frank. But the players,
I didn't.
No. You said no. You said it was.
I've never ever used the word master.
Okay, no masterclass. Okay, I'm paraphrasing. You said he did a good job. We won 4-0. And how come we didn't mention how the players were that bad? But today that it was 2-2. Now let's mention how much the players are shit. It's always the same thing. One day Frank is good. The other week when we don't win, the players aren't good enough.
Well, if you've got top players, Beatrix, then you're going to get 8 and 9s out of 10 from them.
But he never had top players, Frank, so he doesn't know what's a top player. He didn't have a squad of top players.
That's right. He doesn't.
He never had it in his career. So how would you know it would work with him?
Because you've got to think to yourself that what he did with no money at Brentford's.
He never met Europe.
You wouldn't expect Brentford to meet Europe.
Yes, I would.
Of course you wouldn't. Why? Of course. Why would you?
Well, they had one of the best forward lines in the Premier League.
That's it. And you had Damsgaard. You can't just say.
Okay. Nuno reach Europe.
He also has a massive problem playing twice a week. At Brentford, his win rate went from 52%.
Yeah, and
when he's playing once a week down to 25.
He only played twice a week, 2 or 3 times a season.
Okay.
Well, still the stats are the stats. Look, listen, can I just get my 2 cents on him real quick?
No, quickly, right? Benji. Quickly.
Hang on a second. The Dietrich's finished. We go to you then.
Yeah,
and then we'll come to Mike.
Wolves under Nuno reached the Europa League, and Brentford never did it. Never reached even Conference League under Frank.
In his defence, he never even touched that bottom 3 once with Brentford.
Ever.
So I think.
Well, even Nuno did not reach bottom 3.
I mean, yeah, but also.
Go on, Mike. How's your day after the game anyway, Mike? Quickly.
Yeah, relatively good.
Frustration. Go on, Mike. Go for it, mate.
Gave my fiancée a jump scare when we scored 2-1. she started shouting at me because I fucking let one lead. But yeah, other than that, Yeah, just quickly wanted to comment on the whole like Brentford Wolves thing. I think it's also like a bit disingenuous comparing how the league was back then compared to how it is now. Like, I think there were like 3 to 4 good teams when Nuno was managing Wolves. There are like 8 good teams right now. So for me, reaching 9th with Brentford, like I think other than me and Dietrich, all of you guys are from London. I bet you 10 years ago you didn't know that Brentford existed, probably, right? So to get that club to reach 9th and 10th and 12th or whatever they reached in the league, I think it's remarkable, right? Like you have to judge the expectations of a club based on like the size of the club. Basically, that's my point, right? That's, by the way, that's Dietrich. That's not saying that Frank will do well with us, right? I'm just saying that what he did at Brentford was commendable, in my opinion.
He didn't even win.
I
He
think
didn't even win the championship.
Yeah, who cares? He got them to the Premier League, right?
Dietrich, you have an agenda. You don't look at this with an open mind.
No, I want winners.
No,
I don't want
you don't.
losers.
You
I don't want losers. Frank is a loser,
Well,
and he's been a loser all his life.
Stupid comments. What a stupid.
It's not stupid. It's a fact.
Hang on,
That is
hang on.
stupid.
No, it's a fact.
It's a really
It's
good
a-
coach.
hang on.
No, it's a fact.
Hang on,
He
Ian.
is a
Hang on,
really
Ian.
good-
Dietrich. Hang on a second.
Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lose,
You don't
calling
have-
him a loser.
Right.
Come on.
The only thing I will defend Dietrich's on here is from day one he said he didn't want Frank because of that reason, yeah? So it's not as though he's chopping and changing
No.
now. But I'll defend you on this to an extent, Ian. I do think just calling him a loser is a bit harsh. And I do think he's done a very, very respectable job at Brentford. And we can only see where this season takes us now, where he's gone to a bigger club. I think you've got to look on this one as a bit of a 50-50. Ian, he hasn't done nothing to prove he's a quality manager. But Dietrich, he hasn't done nothing to prove he's a piss poor manager either. I think we're in the middle at the moment where we've seen good games, we've seen bad games, and in general, we've looked okay. And I don't think that's really right to judge him properly.
I didn't want Frank. I remember when we were discussing it last year. I think I said Glasner or what did we say? Iriola or Silva. I think we narrowed it down to realistic targets for Spurs. In fact, I was saying I don't want any of those. Like I want a manager that's going to say no to the board. But at the end of the day, I'm not in. I'm not going to say I'm part of Saint Frank's flock either. Right? I'm going to judge him as I see it because I'm not going to be in the same situation that everyone else was. When Ange came in and everyone's saying, "Oh, give him time. What are you talking about?" And look what he done to Spurs in those 2 seasons, and that £400 million mess that the club allowed him to assemble together. And it's not just him to blame; it's obviously everyone else to blame at the club as well for assembling that shower together. But there's a lot of things to like about Frank. I don't think he's a bad coach by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's a very good coach, right? And I'm sure under the right setup and environment, he does amazing. What was shown at Brentford. But Tottenham Hotspur is a different club, as every other manager before it has figured out, not just in the Levy era, but before that, right? And we have standards at Spurs. Whether or not our standards are delusional over and above everyone else is another topic altogether, right? But this is where I disagree with you, Ian. It's not unreasonable for the fan base to be like, "What the hell is this?"
Yep.
Right? Because and we always bring up this argument, and I know we always discuss it. The fans are pissed off probably still since the Poch era. They feel robbed of it, right? This is why the fans are the way they are. I feel robbed of it.
Maz, it's longer than that, mate. It goes back 25 years.
Yeah,
you achieved bar 2 trophies for 25 years.
Exactly. So, but
fans are really pissed off.
Would you agree with me, Ian? Ian, would you agree with me, right? That today, had those bits of luck not fallen for us, and I do think they were lucky. Right, even Tell's goal. When I saw it, I was like, "Bloody hell!" It's the first really good thing I've seen from him. Then I see it in slow motion. He took the biggest bloody deflection, like his other goal did against Leeds, and I'm like, "Oh."
I still think he spun it well, though, man.
Yeah, he done it well. He done well. I'm not gonna. He did do well. We can't criticize him for that. He done well. He got the goal, right? So fair play to him. But apart from that, it's just like, what the hell was that today? What, you can't tell me that Ange can organise an attack, right, and us score goals. You know, I know he did his one-trick pony move every time. You know, the shoehorn, right, and smash it at people's knees and people tap it in goal every week. But why can't Frank organise different?
Can I have my 2 cents on Frank?
Maz, you're not comparing apples to apples, because last year between Solanke, Kulu, Maddison, and Son, they scored 60 of the 63, I think, of the 104 goals, and none of them are playing this season.
But there's new players there to step up. Otherwise, why are they in the position?
But they're not the same level, apart from Kudus. They're just not.
But that's not my. That's not the fans' fault, and that's not my fault.
No, no one said it's your fault. It's not my fault. They're the players that Frank has got. Frank has brought in Kudus. Sonny's gone. Right. Solanke's got injured. Literally. Well, they should have put him straight in for an operation. They messed about. Frank now can't even answer whether Solanke's going to be back this side of the new year. So from that comment, it looks to me, reading between the lines, and I might be totally wrong, that and I might look silly if Solanke comes back at the Emirates in 2 weeks' time, but it looks like Solanke's operation hasn't been successful. So you've lost Solanke. Maguire took him out off the ball. I don't know whether the television camera showed that. Literally,
yeah, it didn't take him out. They ran into him, right? Moani ran into him.
That was deliberate. Okay. That was deliberate. He caught his jaw.
What are you on about?
He's got
the elbow to the face.
Yeah.
No, he runs straight into that. That was nothing malice. He didn't know he was right on his arse. He's got his arms up, because you don't run about with your hands in your bloody pocket.
No, but they ran face to face with each other, Colomwani and Maguire.
That's why he got subbed off.
Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, but there was no malice in that at all. It was.
I think it was. I think it was an accident.
But look. What? I'm not going to give Frank a free pass, right? Again, I'm going to stress this, Ian. I'm going to stress this. I'm not blaming Frank for the shit squad, right? Yeah. I think he's done good so far, in the sense that points don't lie. We're third in the table, we're progressing in the Champions League, etc., etc. However, the transfer window, when you look at it, was fucking shit. Really, I thought it was good initially, because I thought when you look at the names in isolation, you think, bloody hell, we booked 3 or 4 good players, but we haven't really bought 3 or 4 good players. We bought 2, right? And the other 2 are loans.
Okay.
Therefore, it's incumbent on Frank and his team to say to the club, we've got a big problem here in the front line. We've got Solanke and Richarlison, they're crap. We've got a big problem on the left. We only got Odegaard and Tell, right? We've lost Son, our talisman. Regardless of where he was in his career and how good or bad he was last season, we've still lost our talisman. We've got no one going forward apart from Kudus. We've lost Maddison. We've lost Kulu. Get me goddamn players. Demand it.
Well, they went for an 8 that they needed, and that was Morgan Gibbs-White. They went for Eze.
Yeah, and it's the club's fault for not bringing him over the line.
Okay. Now, Frank has got to deal with what he's got. I wouldn't say the transfer window was shit, Maz, because I think the players that we brought in are decent players. I think the transfer window for us was very incomplete, wasn't it? It was
basically.
It left a shot. That shows you how many players.
It's good by our own standards. It's crap by everyone else's standards. That's the reality.
We always ask for, yeah.
Sorry, Dan. Let me just address something. Right? There's a comment up there. Where is it?
What is that
now? Can't find it now. Ultimately, there's been too many people chatting. Ultimately, this is the reality of where we are at as a football club, right? We operate in a certain way. Frank's got to deal with it. I refuse to believe, right, that Ange can organise an attack with rubbish players. We've still got those rubbish players, right? And Frank can't. That's where my concern is.
It's a bit of like back to front, basically, to what it was. You see with that window, yeah? This is where I feel
a lot of people don't remember what they've said before. And a lot of people agreed that they'd rather just see 2 good transfers, 2 good players, instead of 6 or 7 quantity players.
Mm-hmm.
In that aspect, I think we got 4 good players out of there. Or you can say 3 good players and Simmons was still bought on more potential than quality. Now, we'd seen the season of quality off of him, but you definitely bought him hoping he'd get significantly better as well, yeah? But we also needed quantity on this one of quality as well, sort of thing, if you get where I'm coming from. So a lot of the time, people would have just been happy with 2 bloody good transfers instead of 6 crap ones. But we definitely needed some depth on it. Go on, Mike.
Yeah. By the way, this might be a bit like controversial, but I would rather be solid at the back and find it out up front than be solid up front and shit at the back. Because like watching us play it for the last 2 seasons was just a fucking nightmare. Like, listen, like you can score goals in different ways, right? But if you are shit at defending, you are just going to keep conceding and you are going to keep losing games, right? If you don't concede goals, you at least draw a game, right? If you can score 5 goals but lose 6, I know it's like an over exaggeration of the situation, right? But
yeah,
listen,
before. Can I just jump in really quick because I am going to have to bounce? Can I just have my 2 cents on Frank? Look, listen, I'm seeing 2 sides with Thomas Frank from the fan base. I'm seeing extremes in get him out, he's no good, he's got to go. And then I'm seeing the opposite side of it is this man can't do anything wrong. He's great. Give him time. There doesn't seem to be much middle ground. For me personally, I think anyone who says he needs to go is just spouting utter nonsense. Because at the end of the day, look, this guy needs time. Okay, he's had 13, 14, 15 games. Come on now, right? That's just ridiculous. However, on the opposite side of that, I don't like the people that are, you can't say anything bad about Frank because this, that, and the other. Multiple times this season, I have seen some terrible lines of fault from Frank in the way he's done things. He's made some shocking decisions. And at times, I question the man's intelligence when it comes to picking someone who is detrimental to the team in Richarlison. Richarlison should never don a Tottenham Hotspur shirt ever again. He's detrimental to the team. So for me, you've got to question him for that.
Well, hang on, let Ben finish.
Slank is injured. Milani was injured. Who
I'd
would you
rather
have
play
played
Scarlett
Who would you
than
have
him.
played?
One more, sorry, say again.
Who would you have played? Unfortunately, Milani up to recently has been injured. Solanke's been out all season. You got 3 centre forwards. That leaves Richie. Who would you have played instead of Richie?
I'd rather play Scarlett.
Honestly, this is going to sound nuts. I genuinely would rather play. Now, bear with me on this one before people fucking go nuts. I would rather play Scarlett or Johnson up front because realistically, we've got no fluidity anyway, so it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, the one thing that Johnson's got is when a cross does come in, he's usually on the end of it at the back post. And if he can worm his way to those angles, great. If he can't, he's not going to be any worse than Richarlison. But for me, I just find that very questionable. And again, it's just personal opinion. But like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I like Frank. He's a good manager. He's always been a good manager. No, he's got 0 pedigree when it comes to European football, which is fine. Listen, clubs and managers, sometimes they grow together. It's work. Look at Pochettino with Spurs. Perfect example. But I'm just finding a lot of people are either on one side of the fence or the other, but to the extreme. And all I would say on Frank is I'm glad he's at Spurs, but what I am seeing is depressing. But at the same time, I know it takes time to work out the kinks. So it's very, very difficult to judge the guy right now. But at the same time, it's very fucking difficult to watch Spurs at times. It's a tough watch. I've come away from so many games deflated. And I know you boys have done the same. But listen, I've got to bounce. I will catch up with you later. Thank you for having me on, Dan. Take care, boys.
That's right, mate.
Take care, Benji.
Now, with what Ben said, yeah, I totally get where he's coming from there because I do see a very big. I think it's like 40% hardcore Frank in, 40% hardcore Frank out, and then you got 20% in the middle. Basically, I'm one of the ones in the middle who are sat there, and I've looked at some of the decisions he's made and some of the things he's put, and I thought, what the fuck are you doing? One of my perfect ones is what he done at PSG to fuck that game up. In my opinion, that was down to his substitutions. And then I've looked at other games and thought, yeah, he's got it spot on. He's got it right. And like I thought against Everton, he got the whole system correct. Today, I thought, what the fuck are you doing with those subs? Lucky that it came off today, by the way, I think. But at the start of it, I was like, why the hell are you starting Richarlison? Now, I know our options ain't great now, but Odegaard probably had his best game for us.
Yeah.
The game before, yeah? Okay, wasn't spectacular. I must admit, I did love the way he planted it in the back of the net because a lot of people would have put that straight over the top with the excellent bit of ball control from Wane.
Yeah.
And do you know what? This would I thought would be the ideal time. Okay, start Richarlison. Go with Richarlison. And I think Stell's been saying it for a while, and I've got to agree with him on this one, really.
I don't.
Hang on a sec, Matt. Let me finish this bit. We'll come to you straight after. It's instead of chopping and changing every 5 minutes, because I know the option there isn't great. Fuck it. Just stick Odegaard there and see if he can improve over the games. And I think where his last game was was his best game for us, even though it wasn't great, it was still his best game for us. And I think you could still give him a 6, 7, 8, 7 for the game. Sorry, not an 8, a 6 or 7 for the game, because he was more than respectable. And wouldn't this have been the perfect time to stick him in the left wing again, where he's got a little bit of confidence on him and everything and that, because he actually looked good when he came on. I know most of the team was that poor, like we've pretty much all agreed. I haven't gone through the others on there, but we've all pretty much agreed that bar bloody Van der Ven and Paulinia, pretty much everyone else had a pretty piss poor game.
I
would have thought this would have been the perfect time to do it and try, and I ain't even saying he's a good player, and try and build something from it. Why the fuck did he stick Richarlison on there? I mean, for me, that is on the manager's head. He picks it. Why? Just why? Maz, go for it, mate. You wanted to say
Oh, sorry to interrupt you earlier, Dan.
That's all right, man. That's cool.
What I was going to say is this is one of the things that's really concerning me at the moment is I don't think he's being as adaptable as what he should be. And I really despise the fact that we're sort of almost sticking with that 4-3-3 style formation. I would rather see him switch up the formation with the players that he's got and alleviate some of the problems that we're seeing, rather than sticking to it and shoehorning players like Richarlison and Tell and the Odegaards and stuff like that. And now Odegaard is showing signs of something. I'm not sure what that something really is at the moment, but why are we sticking with that formation? Why don't we change it up?
I think it's at the moment where we haven't got a solid back three, basically. But again, it's another one that I'll go to on there. I mean, do you chop it for a game, whatever, and that? People are going to question it. But Maz, I have been saying this for 2.5 years since I came on bloody YouTube now, that people must be sick of me saying it. This team is made for a 3-4-2-1. Our biggest problems, Porro is a liability at the back because his defending is bad, very bad, and every team focuses on him every time, just like they did with Ange, but for different reasons. With Ange, it was because he was inverted. Now it's because he's made to play as a right back when he's not a right back. Our other problem is Kudus. Why is our problem Kudus? Even though he's played good for us, I still don't think we've seen nothing out of him of what we actually could, because he's usually got 2 or 3 people on him and gets marked out a game, bar moments here and there, which ain't his fault. And then our other problem is out on the left, because we haven't got a good player on the bloody left. So take those 3 problems out of the game. Go for 3 at the back, and as soon as people wear 3 at the back, they think, oh, defensive. No, it's not. You can play the most attacking football ever with 3 at the back because you've got cover. Go for 3 at the back, then you can use a Dogi or Spence, whatever one you want to, and Porro as wing backs. Not so much Spence, but a Dogi and Porro. Now you've got it. In the middle, you can then use Bentancur and that. And then in the middle, it then goes Simmons and then it goes Kudus. You can't mark Kudus out of the game then. You don't have to play with a dodgy fucking left winger. Kudus ain't marked out. And they can't focus on Porro now. That's the 3 problems solved. But it's just at the moment, we ain't at the depth.
Dan, sorry. No, just quickly about the myth of 3 at the back. Do you realize that Man City, Pep switched from a 4-2-3 and won the treble?
I know.
That formation is such attacking, and it's made for our players, especially Dogi and Poro.
Regardless of what the formation is, right? And because I see Scott saying, no formation will fix our problems, which I kind of agree. But the reason why I say change the formation is because by changing the formation, hopefully we implement different tactics, which may give us something that we're not currently seeing at the moment. And Dan, I have a problem when we say we don't have 3 centre backs. Why sign Davies then on a contract if he can't play?
He's injured at the minute.
No, but
right.
I mean,
no,
wait.
Hold on. We signed Danzo, right? We've got Danzo, Van der Ven, Romero. Why can't they play together? We signed that other defender. I don't even know, I haven't even seen.
Injured. Like,
injuries.
I don't know, but boys, 11 injuries might be the reason why we are not changing that much.
Yeah.
Like, sorry,
maybe,
I know it's a forbidden word. I know it's a forbidden word to use injuries as an excuse, but the fact is that
it might be.
But the problem is, Michael, is we keep saying injuries, and we've been saying it for the last 25 years. That's the problem. Right? Honestly, like we're not the only club that gets injuries. We've really got to stop talking about this.
When other clubs have 12 injuries, they also don't change the tactics and formation every single game.
Yeah, but we do it every single season. Right? That's the problem.
Yeah, because every single season we have 12 injuries, right? Like
past 2 seasons, isn't it?
Sorry, but that's. Listen, I bet you if we had 6 feet centre backs, because right now, if I'm not wrong, we have 6 centre backs at the club. I bet you if you had all 6, then Frank would be more willing to switch to a back 3, right? But we have Takai injured. Radu Dragusin barely just came back. Davis is injured. I know those are shit options, but they are options, right? So...
But Michael, how come against PSG we played a 3 at the back if we've never seen it? And those centre backs were fit. Romero, Van der Ven, and Danso. And then we've never seen it since that day.
This was the first game, right?
But doesn't matter.
Hang on a second.
Matt, you are muted, by the way. I don't know if that's...
You put Spence in one of those central defending
yes,
slots.
You can do.
All right, and you got Van der Ven and Romero there, and you rotate with Danzo. I mean, you've got Doji sitting on the bench. You're telling me that he's incapable of filling one of those on the left side of a 3.
I agree, but then you don't play 2 wing backs, right? Like you can, yes, I agree. This is what I said. That we were talking about the formations, right? I said that we should rather play a back 4.
Assuming that I'm saying play a 3 at the back. I don't necessarily think 3 at the back is going to change the world for us, right? But what I do want to see is a different setup in the midfield and going forward, because what we have now is crap, right? And we're trying to utilize the wings in this attacking formation that we have with the 4-3-3, and we don't have wingers to do it apart from Kudus. And the problem when you have one winger that can do it is that he gets doubled up on. Sometimes Kudus has got 3 players around him. The same thing's happening with Xavi. So you need to adapt the formation. This is why I partially agree with what Ian's saying, is away from home where we're not going out and out position based and we can just counter. It suits that style better because we've got half decent players that can then counter in terms of pace. But he's not doing that at home. So let's see something different. That's got to be on the manager.
Yeah. I mean, just one point I want to make with Scott here. That formation, a 3-4-2-1 doesn't fit Savvy. Well, it's playing Savvy in the number 10 role and that's where he plays. So go watch. Doesn't fit Kudus. Doesn't fit any midfielder. Well, if you put the 2 midfielders there, Bentancur, Paulinho, fits them perfectly fine. 2 10 roles in front of them. One you play as more of a playmaker who could drift out left as well. Savvy fits him down to a T. Everyone's been saying play him as 10, not a left winger. Kudus totally fucking marked out the game completely 9 times out of 10. Against PSG and other times where he's played the cam role and you can use him as a bit of a target man, he's looked perfectly fine now. So really that fits all 4 defenders. The only midfielders, the only one you're pushing in a little bit to play almost Kulusevski role is Kudus. And he's more than capable of doing it. And we've done it. So where doesn't it go right with that one? And then when you've also got Porro and Adoji in the game now to overlap it and not Porro focused out the game and we're not having to play with the shambolic left winger, I can't see what goes wrong.
Can I just say that Danny's saying in there, like, guys, injuries are the reason, and Michael said it. But hold on a minute. Who we've got coming back? Let's analyse that. Solanke can't fucking score, right? How many goals
He's
did
not
he
a
get
good
last
player.
season? Right, he's not a good player. He's not going to change the world.
Solanke scored 16 in 44 last season.
He's not going to change the world, right? Let's not big him up to be something that he isn't, right? He's not anywhere near the caliber of striker that we've had in the past, right?
He's had one good season in his life. One.
In his life. There's no point hashing over that argument again, Ian. We've had it since he's come at the club, and he's not changed our world, right? You've got Cooley that everyone was moaning about last season coming in, right, and saying, "Oh, he can't play off. He can't play off the right. He can't play off the left. He can only play in the number 10." There's no way he's playing in the number 10.
I'm not talking about the quality of the options. I'm talking about the options themselves. Like we had like options. 4 or 5. We had 5 kids on the bench today.
Right. So did we had that last season as well.
Yeah, this is why we weren't changing last season, right?
I did change last season, but we've chosen not to play Scarlett. We've chosen to loan out Lancashire. We've chosen to loan out Donnelly. We've chosen. Yeah, but we had this discussion 3 years ago. If we've not got the players, which we haven't, right, and we've got some up and coming young players, why didn't we start blooding these guys in now, right? And giving them time to prove themselves at Spurs. But we never do that, right? And we always try and buy in the players. Now we're in a situation where we do have 11 injuries, and those kids where you would expect them to come in because it's their opportunity to come in, we don't fucking have them here at the club anymore. We learned that Vuskovic, right, who we were heralding. Why not bring him at the club and rotate him in when we need him and get him time in and around the first team?
He asked to leave Maz. He asked to go on loan.
Fine, yeah. But I'm giving I'm giving an example of what we could have done if we had the.
I get where you're going with that, but Vuskovic, no, he should have gone on loan. He's no,
guys, you're missing the point. Forget about the names.
What you're saying there.
Forget about the names. It could be any player. All I'm saying is we've loaned out players that we could have given opportunities to, but we never do. And then what happens is when they do come back, right? We try them for a few games, we realize they're shit, and then we get rid of them. So I don't like this injury thing because we choose to do these things as a club.
But when you have 25 senior players at the club, right? Why would you keep those youngsters? To give them like 2 games a season? Like I think
it's a 3-man squad, right? At the moment, we have
more senior players, right? It's just that we cannot register them because our homegrown rule is fucked up, right? But we won't fix the homegrown rule until those youngsters are 21 or above, right? So
we could have kept some of the youngsters. That's what I'm saying. We could have kept at least 2 of them.
Okay,
but
my point is that even now we have. Technically, with the injuries, we have over 25 senior players in the club, right? I think that's why we chose to loan some of them out, because in principle, we had a big enough squad so that, we would fill the registration rules anyways, right? Other than Europe, where you can do the whole like A list or B list or whatever it is called, right? My point is that, I'm not saying that I'm not using injuries as an excuse, but right now, with how this squad is right now, right? What happened in summer is a different thing. But right now, with 11 injuries that we had today, right, I don't think there is much room to maneuver around with the tactics and the formations, right?
I can agree with that.
Because, like, you can switch to a back 3. We technically have, like, 3 fit centre-backs, Romero, Danso, and Van de Ven. But if one of them goes down, you have to revert back to the 4 at the back anyways, right?
Or then you have
but hold on, but even with this team we have now, we still have 11 players in the pitch. You can play a 4-2-3-1 as an example.
I think we played 4-2-3-1 today.
That's what we played. Yeah, that's what we played.
So, but we also can play a 4-3-3 as well.
Yeah, okay. In that regard, yes, you can maneuver like that, right? But
or you could play a 4-2-4 if you wanted to with the players we got. All I'm saying is we could go through all the formations. We still have Oda Bertel to come off the bench as midfielders, don't we? We still had Bentancur to come off the bench as a midfielder. So that's 3 senior pros where we could have changed the whole formation with those three senior pros.
I think
what I'm saying is if we kept some of those youngsters like Lancashire, right, or Scarlett as an example, we can change things up again. That's
I get
the
where you're
overriding
going,
point.
Maz, but that's just not gonna do any favors, because then half of us are contradicting ourselves by saying when a lot of us have been saying get Archie Gray out and put him on loan because he ain't gonna get enough game time. The others ain't gonna get enough game time either. They're only gonna get the odd match here and there or the odd few minutes here and there when we got shitloads of injuries. And apart from that, they're just gonna be put on the side, no different to Archie Gray. Just sit there, shut up, be quiet.
And
with that,
Dan.
that's
You
why
only need two.
I feel the younger players do have to go out on loan. But the
Dan,
point is today, go on, Ian.
I think personally, I think Gray will be given game time when he's fit. I think he would have had game time if he hadn't got himself injured. I think with Odegaard, I think you've now got to give him a run. I think he showed some really great touches at Leeds. There was a lovely little flick ball round the corner to Simmons that ended up with Simmons flicking the ball over the top. And I think Porro put it into the stand. He put Udogie through beautifully, and since then, when Odegaard has played, he is getting better. He is improving every game, and I think now you've got to give him a run. I think he's the short-term answer.
Right.
Between now and January, I think you've got to, as Stel said, stick him in, let him go now. Listen, we're not going to win the league, so you've got to see. We've spent money on these kids. You've got to see if they're good enough.
Right.
And
then let me come to you with this one, Ian, yeah? I mean, you're talking to me saying that you think Archie Gray's getting game time. It was just the other day you said that on Spurs 5 and then turned around 5 minutes later and said you think he's going to go on loan in fucking January. So make your mind up with that one, mate. Seriously. On the other point where I make you right, hang on, we'll come back to you. On the other point where I make you right, I don't think we've seen anything of Odegaard to say he's improving game by game by game, except he had a good last game and this game was okay when he came on. It's not as though when he has played, he's looked any fucking good. He's looked no better than Tell. Same as Simmons. Let's be real. By the past 2 games, Simmons has been no better than Tell or bloody Odegaard.
You're seeing improvement now.
We're hoping, yes, that's where I'm going to go. But we are seeing improvement. But with Odegaard, it's only over the past 2 games. Same as Simmons, really. It's only been over the past 2 games. He's been no better than Tell or Odegaard apart from them. Bar maybe a moment here or there, yeah? But I'm totally with you in the aspect, and I totally agree with what Stell's saying, as I think if we're going to stick with a 4-2-3-1, even though I don't think it suits this team best, but I can also see the point of one injury happens, then what do you do? Stick Paulinho there, Bentancur in midfield, and then you're piss balling about again anyway, yeah? Fuck it. Stick on Odegaard. He seems to be doing... like slowly getting his shit together. Past 2 games is all I could judge him on because he has got better in 2 games. Even though, like Tell, who you can say had an all right game when he came on today, and Simmons looked pretty good today, same as the last game. Out of all of them, they've had 2 games all season between them, basically. And with that, I think if he's going to do a 4-2-3-1, then stick Odegaard out on the left. And this was the question asked at the start of it, where we've sort of gone off a bit. What the fuck was he doing starting Richarlison today?
Well,
Danny, how we doing, mate? No, sorry, Ian, go on. Finish what you're going to say and I'll come to you, Dan. Sorry,
I didn't understand. In terms of the team selection, they listen, Copenhagen were poor, but we took advantage of, we played against it. See that, Scott? That's where you lose me, mate. That's where you lose me with stuff like that. It's nonsense. You're not thinking about it. You're not thinking about it. From the team that he played on Tuesday, I would have kept Udogie and Odegaard on the left. I thought we lost balance to the team with Spence and Richie on the left, and I think he brought Odegaard on for Moani at half time. And then he brought Udogie on a bit later, and the whole thing changed. Spence went across to the right. First, I thought Porro was having a poor game. So for me, the whole thing looked so much better with Spence and Udogie as fullbacks. Looked much better, and the team went up a gear. There was more balance to the team. United weren't great, I thought, but Spurs looked good towards the first 10 minutes of the second half, and then the last 20 minutes of the second half was all Spurs.
I can't see why you can't do some lateral thinking and even practice this on the training ground and say Porro's not doing well in defence. Let's put Spence on in right back. Let's put Doji in the left back position, so you've got both of them on there. Move Porro further up on the pitch, and let's say, for argument's sake, play a 4-5-1. You know, we can jiggle the pieces around. We even though we've got 11 injuries, we still have the players to change things up. And my concern is he's not changing things up at home to find solutions to what we're seeing at the moment.
Because he's not a good manager.
Well, I'm not saying he's not a good manager. I'm just saying I don't know. I don't take just the injuries as the reason why he's not changing things up.
I can totally understand that. There is more to it than that. It can't just be down to injuries. I feel if you just put it on injuries, unless you've got 20 fucking injuries, at times I do feel injuries is made as a scapegoat, but at other times injuries is also a reason. I think it's a very thin line between excuse and reasons. I think there's a very thin line down the middle of it, basically, and injuries can be a reason for so long, and then they can also become an excuse at the same time. Right,
I just quickly, I didn't want to use injuries as a reason or an excuse, just as a contributing factor, right? I just wanted to point out that even though, yes, Mas, I agree that we still have options with the senior players that we have, or even the youngsters, right? I think if our bench was looking like Madison, Kulusevski, Dragusin, and a couple other guys, then you have much more room to improvise, right? I think that, for example, today we used all the senior changes we could, right? The only three players left on the bench were Kids and Kinski, right? So
yeah, basically,
I'm just trying to say that it has an impact on the like possible. Well, formations that we can use. Sorry, Danny.
Do you know, Michael? No. I was going to just to add on to what you're saying, actually, and how's everyone doing as well, boys? Yeah. Wait, can you hear me? You can hear me, right? Is it right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Unfortunately,
Danny's a
yeah, fuck you, Danny.
Dietrich is the biggest bitch there is.
You see, Frank here.
Right. So, first of all, apparently there's some news coming out that Kolo Muani was forced off with a jaw injury, and he's due to undergo surgery, right? So,
do you think his jaw actually got busted with it, like fracture or break?
Yeah, it could be. It seems like that way. That's probably why he's gone off. Which is, it makes sense why he actually went off, because he should never have gone off. Like, there's no way he would have taken him off. It should have been Richarlison. So that makes sense why now he came off. Now, I just want people to understand something, right? Last season, we had a lot of injuries as well, right? Now, when we were playing the way Ange Postecoglou was playing football, we were losing every game with the amount of injuries we had. Yet, in this season, right, with the amount of injuries we have got, we're the highest in the league, by the way, if anyone doesn't know, by 3 players. And the second highest is Arsenal with 7. But Arsenal have got a squad full of top-class talent, right? Which is very different to us. So the fact that Frank is doing what he's doing with what he's got, to me, is pretty unbelievable. Because what I can see is that, yes, he's pragmatic. Yes, he's not. It's not at where the level where we want to play football. It's not there yet. But we can't play football at a level the way all of us fans want to see until we have better players. We have to have Kudus level players on each position up front. You've got to have a Kudus level striker. You've got someone who can score goals. You've got to have a left winger who's just as good, but also offers more consistency with output. Right? We need someone who, because at the moment, as good. Hold on, Dietrich. As good as Kudus is, as good as Kudus is, and Dietrich is a big bitch, right? As good as that, right? He still is not producing the numbers that we need in terms of goals, right? But the problem is, because when we give him the ball, right, everyone just seems to stop doing what they're doing or doing what they should be doing, and they just let him play. And that's where we're coming unstuck, because whenever he's playing now, it's just we're going down one alley, and the other team now are just marking. They're just The man marking him to an extreme, right?
It's the
But
same
Danny-
issue as last season.
Yeah,
They're
Danny-
marking Porro out the game.
Yeah,
they're marking Kudus out the game and focusing on Porro, which is exactly what we had last season with people focusing on Porro on the flanks. Go on, Matt.
Danny.
Yeah.
See, I agree with most of or nearly everything you said there, but I think the massive issue that I'm having at the moment so far this season is not Frank or how well he's done or how well he's not done or all that sort of stuff. It's the fact that should anyone criticize Saint Frank, right, that everyone's saying, "Oh, you've got to be Frank out as soon as you criticize him." Oh
Yeah,
my
no,
God,
no,
you're saying everything.
It's no
I
different to
agree.
what it was with Ange.
Exactly, right. And I'm seeing the
I agree.
same
I
stuff
agree.
happening with Ange, right? The conversation that happened, now it's happening with Frank, right? But on the reverse side, and it needs to stop, right? Because
I agree.
the club has
I
put us
agree.
in this situation now, right, where we feel all robbed by what's happened in the past, right? And that's why we're all getting upset with various different aspects. And it shouldn't be the case that we're calling stuff out that needs to be addressed as a Frank out campaign, right? That's just bollocks.
Yeah.
We should have a
I agree.
conversation
I agree.
where we're saying the two different sides, right? And that's it.
Do you know what, Maz, as well? To add to that, right? I was going to go on to say that for me, the biggest mistake I think Frank did today was the team selection. I think that was completely wrong. I think he should have gone with the exact same team that played against Copenhagen. While we have an international break after this game today, right? We don't have to worry about Premier League or a Champions League game or a cup game, right? They're footballers. They can play 2 games in a week. I'm sure of it, right? They're professional athletes.
Yeah.
So for me, those players should have been the exact same lineup, exact same team. Right?
I agree.
And the reason why is because those players, like we have said, like I've heard what all of you guys have said, and I agree with a lot of what you guys have said about Odegaard. Yes, he's playing better. He's not the level we want yet, but he is playing his best football at Spurs at the moment, right? And that's a credit
Over
to
the
him.
past 2 games, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm saying he hasn't played this type of way ever at Spurs, right? Because last season he was injured the whole season basically, and this season he's been in and out of the team. But when you had a game like he did against Copenhagen, which wasn't like it didn't light up the world, but it was still his best performance, you have to say, all right, he's got a bit of confidence. Go again. That's what the management. That's what a coach should be doing, right? And this is where, Dan, I have the gripe with Thomas Frank today, because I think he made the biggest fuck up today by that. And he's very fucking lucky, right? That those subs that he made today paid off.
Yeah, it was luck.
I said that earlier.
And Cassius Clay in the old chat, right? He was saying, "Oh, everything's down to luck." Yeah, we were bloody lucky today. Thank God we were lucky.
Right, let's be honest,
every
Man
club
United
needs
was
luck.
shit as well. Man United,
Yeah,
every club
no two ways
well,
about
fine.
it.
Man United.
Most teams were.
The biggest problem
We
for
gave
me
it to
is
Man
that,
U on a plate.
yeah, we
on a
did. But
plate.
do you know what, Dan? My biggest problem is at the moment what I'm seeing with Frank. Right now, I know I want to talk about something else after, but I'll say this point first. At the moment, what I'm seeing with Frank is that when we're playing at home, there's a little bit of cautiousness to like the way we're playing. It's like the team they're not playing with the freedom that they play when they're away from home, or they're playing a lot more.
Hang on a sec, Dan. Just question with what you're saying, just so I get the picture of what you're saying quickly. Do you think he's actually doing that? Because I do think he is doing something along those lines as well.
Well,
do you think it's actually that he doesn't want the team to
1-0 Sunderland. 1-0 Sunderland.
Come on, Sunderland.
Go Sunderland.
Oh, but Sunderland with the worst squad can do better than Frank. Make him make sense.
Oh, Jeff, shut the fuck up.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Make him make sense.
No. Hold on.
Chelsea.
Dan,
Do you think it's because he doesn't want to lose
We've
at
got
home?
European competition. We've got European competition, right? There is the element of not wanting to lose at home, but the problem is when you're at home, you should be the team, the aggressor.
They just beat Chelsea and now they're beating Arsenal.
Not the team that sits back, right? And in moments today, we were a bit more aggressive, but we haven't seen it yet fully, apart from probably Burnley, where we were the more aggressive team. And even then, we weren't. And I think what I want to see from Spurs is the way that we played against Copenhagen. I think we can play that way, but you've got to get the players who can play that type of football. Because when you play players like Richarlison on the left wing, and then you play Johnson. I mean, Johnson had a decent 20 minutes, right, and that was about it. But
yeah, I agree.
When you play Richarlison on the left, and then Paulinho, who's a player who doesn't progress the ball, and then you've got Sarr as well, who's not really a progressive passer of the ball. It was like today. What I saw again is the link between the midfield and the attack was just non-existent again. It was like there was no. They just kept going back, and then when Jed Spence was right on the left-hand side, every single time he came back, there was not one time I saw him try beat his man until he went on the right side. And basically, he actually started to go up against his man.
And
right?
Danny,
Yeah.
even if Spence tries to go forward on the left, he goes inside. That's something that I fucking pointed out. Like he's a really good player. He's a really good player, right? But on the left, it just doesn't work, right? If we are like packed in and defending the box for 90 minutes, okay, then Spence on the left is probably better than Udoji because he defends better. Although, like after today, we will see about that, right?
I think there's
the difference is, Mike, he's a left back. He's a left back. He's not a fucking wing back.
But
whereas Udoji and Porro are wing backs, not right back or left back. That's the difference.
I would say that he's a right back, not left back.
Yeah, Jed Spence worked as a left back, as an inverted fullback. When he was in Ange's system, he was it was perfect for him as a left back. Yes. But when he's a left fullback, trying to play as an overlapping fullback, it doesn't look as good. Yeah, it doesn't work, which is
not for pressing forward anyway. Defensive wise, it does work.
Defensive is fine, but that's the problem, because when we lose our attacking impotence when we're playing this way we're playing at the moment, right? And I think that's where, and I think, right, that Frank is trying to manage it as best as he can to utilize the injuries. He is Dietrich.
Hang on, I'll come to Dietrich. Hang on, let Dan finish.
We're playing multiple competitions, right? And look, I still
multiple competition too.
Dietrich,
let's finish, and then we're playing in the Champions League, Dietrich, as well. So he's trying to. Okay, you can't say who gives a shit, because look where we are in the table right now, Dietrich.
No, at this point, you're not going to win the Champions League. Wait, before you say anything, I know Spurs are not going to do anything in the Champions League. I would rather Spurs to play all the youngsters in the Champions League, get knocked out as soon as possible, and focus. Focus on the domestic, which is the league and the cups. Because Champions League, there's no way with this squad you can do anything.
Mate, but
you've got to try and play as best as you can.
Sorry, even from a financial point of view,
I don't care about the finances. I'm a fan.
No, wait. You get like a 6 million fucking euros for winning a game in Champions League. Right? There is no way. There's no way the club would allow him to play youngsters in the Champions League, right?
Okay, then if we're in the Champions League, why would you bring a guy like Thomas Frank that has zero experience in that sense? I'm saying in a financial way. If you want to win games, the guy has never played in the Champions League in his life.
Do you know what? Hang on a second, yeah. Now, first off, I'm going to totally disagree with what you're saying, yeah? In the aspect of just go out the Champions League, fuck it, play the kids. Dietrich, no, mate, I ain't having that one. And I'll stick up for it. No, I'll say to that bollocks, yeah? If that's what you think, you're entitled to that. Fair play, it's an opinion. But no, the money
but it's a shit opinion.
Right, but the bit I can understand where you're actually coming from on this one, yeah? Just getting your point, not necessarily agreeing with it, but I get where you're coming from here. Is if we were that bothered about the Champions League, then why the fuck did we bring a manager who has zero, who has nothing on his back except that he's done good
the day I've seen.
Hang on, Dietrich, hang on, I'm sticking up for you. Yeah. So we bring in a manager who's never done anything in the league, basically, never done anything at a big club. No, you can never tell until they go to a bigger club, and has got absolutely fuck all experience in any sort of European competition. Yet the Champions League is important. Do you know what? I can understand your point. I don't agree with it. Well, the first one was bollocks, mate, as far as I'm concerned. I ain't having that one yet. But each their own, whatever turns you on. Some like blonde hair, some like black hair. But the second one, I do actually see where you're coming from. I think it is a fair point. If the Champions League is that precious, then why did we go and get a manager who has no experience? That's basically what you're saying. I don't agree with it, but I get your point.
Because if you wanted to take the Champions League seriously, I would expect a manager that has the caliber and has done it in the highest level.
Who Dietrich? Tell me who.
Our Glasner played in the Champions League.
Glasner said no.
Gasperini,
Hang on, let Dietrich finish
Wait,
here.
wait,
Ian,
I'm not-
let
you
Dietrich finish, and I'll come back to you.
Gasperini has done it in the Champions League.
Gasperini's like Ange, mate.
No, he is. You might say, but he has the experience, and he's a winner, so he's done it.
It's quite a
What's
bad
the one?
insult
Sorry.
there, Danny.
What's he won, by the way?
Sorry,
What's Gasperini won in Europe? Can someone
Europa League.
tell me?
So is Ange, mate. So is Ange.
More than Thomas Frank, and tells
So
you how
is Ange.
bad he is.
Yeah,
But listen,
but Glasner was never leaving. He was never going. He was
Correct.
never going
No,
to leave.
he didn't want to. The only reason he's going to leave now, he threatened to leave if what's his name, Gay or
Gay went.
Yeah, he might
That's
leave
it.
at end of the
He was
season.
gonna go.
He might leave at end of the season.
Listen,
Yeah.
I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, right? Because you like somewhere at some point someone has to like take a gamble on a manager, right? Because there is only a finite amount of managers who have experience in Europe, right? So somewhere along the lines you just have to, bank on a manager doing well even though he doesn't have an experience, right? I'm not saying that Thomas Frank is the right person, but me personally, I wanted Glasner over Thomas Frank. That was my preference, right? But I don't think Thomas Frank is doing like a bad job. He's not doing a great job, but he's not doing a bad job, right? I have to agree. Like I'm somewhere in the middle, but saying that like he's a shit manager and we should have never hired him. I think based on, and this is maybe me evaluating what he did at Brentford differently, right? But for me, based on what happened at Brentford, I think it was right to give him a chance, right? I know it kind of sucks that it has to be Spurs giving the chance, right? Because of course I would rather have fucking, I don't know, like the Barcelona manager, right? Or like Bayern Munich's manager, even company, right? Or like someone else. Of course I would rather have that, right? But I think Thomas Frank is doing an okay job.
But
And
also,
yeah,
go
go
on.
on.
I was going to say, just to add to what you said, Michael, but you mentioned company and Hansi Flick, right? I would also love them, but look at the players they're working with and look at what Frank is working with, right? It's a massive difference. It all comes down to the quality of player we have in the squad, right? I bet you any money if Thomas Frank had Arteta's team, he'd do a better job than Arteta. 100%.
Yeah, that's a lie. That's a lie.
100%.
100%.
That's an opinion. No, it's not.
That's my
100%.
opinion.
It's not a lie, it's an opinion, right?
But you still can't say 100%.
Yeah, I
And-
think, in my opinion, that's what I think he'd do a better job. I think.
Yeah,
what
because
I've-
you're deluded.
what-
That's why.
Dietrich, you don't know anything about football, mate.
I would take Mancini. I forgot about Mancini. He's available on a free.
Dietrich,
Go on, Ian. Go on, Ian.
Dietrich, let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
You're coming into the season with Burnley. It's you've woken up the morning of the Burnley game. Look ahead 12 weeks. Where do you think Spurs should be coming into the November international break at the beginning of the season? What would you think is satisfactory? We finished. Remember, hang on. Remember. You've got to remember. Forget cups. It's the league that shows the level of the team. We have just finished 17th. Okay, we've lost 22 league games. We've lost 26 in total last season.
Sure.
You've woken up, you've got the Burnley game to come, and someone says to you, Dietrich's, after Man United, November international break, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in terms of position? Because it's all about positions, isn't it? You win trophies by position.
But it's irrelevant.
Okay, no, you see-
It depends what.
No, no,
That point is irrelevant. I'll tell you why it's irrelevant.
Let
I
Dietrich
want to know
answer
from
his-
Dietrich's where you thought Spurs should be at this time of the season, at the beginning. And remember, the players that are out, Maddison's out. We knew that. Kula was out. We knew that. Solanke hasn't
Son
played.
left.
In my opinion, in my personal
Where
opinion,
do you think we should
after
be?
watching the fixture pre-November, of course, I was expecting Spurs to be around the top four, because we had an easy. I wouldn't say easy, but like
Why?
one of the top three
why
easiest
though?
fixtures.
Finish, then.
What makes
But
you?
by November, I was expecting Spurs to have a style of play, to have a manager that can be
Why?
that can have a plan A, plan B, plan C.
But
For
why?
me, it's not always about like the position. Yeah, position is important, But for me now, especially in Frank's first season, I was expecting him to finally say, you know what, I'm not going to be stubborn like Ange. Let me have a different route. And Spurs look hard to beat. But at the moment, it feels like we're only playing for the draw, and that's what pisses me off.
But Dietrich, why do you think that he can do better with the fucking shit?
I'm not expecting us to play tiki-taka football. I'm just expecting
But then
him.
what are you expecting?
I just want him to play the players at their best positions,
he just said
I don't want to see.
Right, Dietrich, I'm going to back you up here, right?
Yeah.
I think you guys are being a bit unfair, right? What Dietrich is saying is very simple. He wants to see adaptability. That's what
we asked for, Frank.
Right?
That's why a lot of us wanted Frank.
And what he isn't seeing at the moment is that adaptability. And when he does stumble upon something that potentially could work for several games, Danny, which you pointed out, he doesn't do it. So that's what Dietrich is saying.
But again,
why league position is irrelevant at this point. Look, league positions is irrelevant at this point because Ange was top of the league.
Exactly.
At the same point last season, and look what happened to him. Right.
Yeah,
so
Ange, look at who Ange had in his team at the time. He had a forfeit squad.
Doesn't matter who he had. He was first after 10 games.
He had a forfeit squad.
Danny, the club.
Season he wasn't. Not last season he wasn't. Forget that.
Hold on, guys. Danny, to answer to rebut what you're saying, but the problem is with that is we've spent 400 million since then. Okay, and the club deemed that 400 million was going to uplift the squad. Therefore, our expectations are up here, right? The reality of it done is obviously down there, right? And that's why we're pissed off. So when people like Dietrich and everyone else is getting pissed off is because, right, they've spent that. We're here in terms of performances, not league table, right? And that's why fans are pissed off. And I'm getting annoyed now because every time someone criticizes Frank, right, you're immediately getting shot down. I do think Frank out is a ridiculous position, right? I'm not one of those people that say get Frank out, shit and all that sort of stuff because you haven't given the guy a chance, right? I would like to back my manager at least a year to see what they've got, but if he does an Ange, right, and it starts going badly after 10, 15, 20 games, or we're playing for draws, I have a big problem with that because when Conte and Jose came in, right, they were near enough hounded out the bloody club for what they were doing. And if you're going by what Lubo was saying in terms of league position, why the fuck were they handed out of the club? Because when Jose was sacked, he was 3 points off fourth.
Can I just say something as well?
Right? And hold on, I'll finish on this point. And when Conte left, he was it a point or whatever he was off third?
He was fourth.
Yeah, he was fourth.
It's an easy answer.
Yeah.
It's an easy answer. It's quite a simple answer to me in that aspect. Yeah. It's quite a simple answer. It's the style of football. And we've got too many sentimental, easygoing, that are easy to please at times, or too sentimental. Give that player a chance, give him another season, give him another season, give him another season.
Also,
we've got too many other ones on there like that.
You're forgetting the biggest thing.
Hang on a sec, Dan. I'll come to you. It's the style of play. When it works, you've still got half the fan base saying, I don't want to see this style of football at Spurs. It's not the Spursy way to play. There is no fucking Spursy way to play. Wake up, people. It ain't World War II anymore, yeah? We're in 2025, for God's sake. Yeah?
Right.
Either way, yeah, it's a sarcastic comment, man.
Right.
Then
I've got a problem with that, Dan.
It's the style. I agree. No, I'm agreeing with you, yeah? I think,
we do have a history at the club of playing a certain way of football. We do. We are the club. Yeah, we do. We're famous for it. It doesn't matter when. It's part of your history. Do you
what does history matter, man? What's history?
What do you mean? What's history? Who are you today if you weren't for your history?
Right. Let me put it on a history thing for you then. At the end of the day, yeah, when it comes to football, yeah, anything more than 5 years, history is irrelevant. And I'll tell you why. Yeah, it's all good to sit there and say, yes, we've done this in fucking 66. Yes, we've done that in 76. What? Are players really going to come to us because we won an FA Cup? Right,
No,
we won we
it's
won
an
a Europa
important
Cup
part
last
of who
season.
you are.
But also,
And
also
yes, I get that. But in that way,
it's
history
I've
is
got to say
irrelevant
something on
to who
this.
you
It-
can
not
buy.
irrelevant.
This is
Go on, Dan.
ridiculous. This is
Well,
ridiculous.
it
First,
is.
right, Maz. First of all, I want to say what Maz was saying. Right.
Go
First
on.
of all, Maz, what you were talking about the manager, right, or the players that you said that fans expected us to be better because of the money that we spent. First of all, I don't know what fan actually expected that because the players that we brought in were fucking dog shit, right? We spent over. I never
not
wanted.
according to our fan base.
Yeah, our fan base are retarded, right? I wanted, right? I didn't want Richarlison at the club. I didn't want
And you're
Solanke at
one
the
of
club.
them, Danny.
I didn't want Johnson at the club. I didn't want none of these players. But yet we spent over 170 million pound on those 3 players, right? So that's a first thing. That's another thing. You're talking about people talking about Conte, right? When we were playing the way we were 4th when he got sacked. Let's not forget we had a prime son and Harry Kane at the time, right?
Mhm.
Who were just destroying the league. And if it wasn't for them,
With the shittest defender
Yeah,
ever, Dan. The shittest defense
yeah,
ever.
but Dan, the thing is, they were bailing us out of games single-handedly. Both of those players.
I
right?
agree.
That's fine.
Without
And
those,
under Jose.
without
So
those
was
players,
Bale.
yeah, so was Bale. And without those players, imagine where we would have been.
Yeah,
in
but that's
that
not the
season,
point.
Right?
But
what I'm
Danny,
saying is,
that's
Dan,
not the
what I'm
point
saying is,
I'm making.
no, but the point is, right now, every single one of these people on this panel said that our attack last season was championship level, right? It hasn't changed. So why is
No, I
people
know.
expecting more? Like,
Well, this
It
year
got worse.
better.
It got
This year,
worse.
why, Dietrich, especially you, Dietrich, you fucking retard, right? Why do you actually think, right? Why do you think that he's going to get a tune out of Richarlison? So
once
wanky,
again, I've
right?
never said that.
Yeah,
I
so
never said
wanky.
that.
Never said that.
I've never
Brendan
said that.
Johnson, right?
You
Yeah,
see,
but
you're the retard. You don't listen.
You just said,
I never said that.
Hold on. You just said earlier on that you expect us to be in the top 4. Why do you expect us to be in the top 4? Are you stupid?
But
Are you actually
we are in the
stupid?
top
Are
4
you
right now.
stupid?
We
Well,
are in
the
the
Dan,
pound's gone like that. The cash is gone like that. Dan.
Look
Let
at-
Dietrich
if you
defend
look at-
himself.
If you look at, listen, it all comes down. It's very simple. Football is very simple. It all comes down to the quality of the players.
100%.
That's it. And Frank is getting the most out of
No.
Right.
I don't
So,
necessarily agree with that,
therefore,
Ian. No, hang on.
Ian, no,
Hang on a
therefore,
second. There's been teams- hang on
don't
a
say
second,
that we
hang on
can't
a second,
criticise
Naz.
the team. Then
There's been
I didn't
there's
say
been
that. I
there's
didn't say
Ian.
that.
It's about a manager, like Maz said earlier, adapting, which is what we wanted because fucking Ange would not adapt come love nor money, yeah, until the players told him we're going to play this way, yeah. Right. When it comes down to that, yeah, you can actually make a very average team look very, very good. Look very good if you adapt to their style of play to the players. Yeah, you can also make a quality team look bad as well.
And they're not good
It's
enough.
not always down to the players.
It is. It's down to the players. They're
So
not
it's just
good
the
enough.
players. It's nothing to do with the manager then.
What?
So last season was just down to the players, not down to Ange.
There's part of it is the manager, right?
So
but
why
the
did we
problem is-
sack
He's
Ange
got to
then?
find the
If
right
it's
system.
just down to the players, why did we sack
No,
Ange then?
because
Who won us the Europa Cup?
Ange is not as adaptable. Let's be honest. Frank is adapting, but people just refuse to see what he's actually doing.
No,
right?
he has adapted in certain.
and
cases.
you backed Ange until the very end. You fraud.
See, he's an idiot. He's an
I
idiot.
backed him until the Luton game. Was it Luton game? No, not
What?
Luton
That's
game.
one game too many for me, mate. I
Ipswich game,
wanted him
Ipswich
out
game.
since the start.
Yeah, and then I don't know what I'm talking about. Look at this game.
Yeah, but the
There's
problem is, you say you wanted him out, yeah, but we never would have won a Europa League without him. So let's not forget that, right?
the
let's
players
forget-
won the Europa League.
Let's
not him.
not talk about.
It's true.
Your players that you're calling
Ange is
championship
done now.
level won it without him.
Yeah, but the thing is, that's the thing. Ange managed to win the Europa League with championship.
Can you
level
not
play.
see why your
That's
point is
amazing.
irrelevant when you bring that in? You just disproved your own point and what
Yeah,
you've
he's
been saying.
an idiot. This guy's an idiot.
What? How?
How? Because you went on saying about why we're expecting more, right? Look how crap the players are. Look at the money we've misspent, which I'll agree with. You know my arguments. You've been we're all been talking for years, right? But right at the end, you said, but those players and that manager won him the league. Therefore, I'm right in what I said. Fans' expectations are up here, right? reality is down here, and that's why a lot of people are pissed off, and that's why
Yes.
they're discussing Frank. That's legitimate. I don't have a problem with that. But we shouldn't be doing the same thing as what happened with Ange when everyone was Ange in, apart from us lot or us five,
basically,
right? on here. Yeah. Do you
A
see
few
what
of
I'm
us.
trying to say? That's what I'm saying.
But the
It's
thing
the
is,
annoying thing is, hang on a sec, Dan. The annoying thing is, let me come to Mike. He ain't said nothing, yeah? The annoying thing is, where I agree with you, Maz, yeah? Again, I've seen Frank do some fuck ups as far as I'm concerned. Like I said, PSG, I think he lost us that game because of his decisions. But Archie Gray couldn't touch the ball more than once in 20 minutes. But the aspect is, I also think we've done all right. And I think we've looked good at times, but we're doing okay at the moment. Considering where we are, I think we're actually quite, we're in that place. Like, I'm a bit shocked at it, but you can't argue with it. But the fact at the moment is, as far as I'm concerned, it's no different to, like, with the fans. It's no different to what it was like with Ange. You're either far left or far right. You're not allowed to be in the middle. If you question Frank, which he deserves question, I can only judge game by game. I can't judge the season at the moment. And today, I think he got it fucking wrong with putting Richarlison on the pitch and not starting Odegaard.
Yeah, I
and
agree with
other
that.
things he'd done, So I can question him for that. But then some will say, oh, but it's only 10 games.
thing
It's
is,
Frank,
Dan,
get
the
behind
thing
him.
is-
Get behind your man. But hang on, the people saying that were the ones who were slating Ange off all the way are the ones who are now saying, back your manager, don't look behind you, just be blind and back him, basically. Like, well, mind your fucking mind up and practice what you fucking preach to some people out there. Mike.
Yeah, it will be a bit of a longer one, so please bear with me, right? But I have to say something, right? Let's just go through.
I'll put the timer on.
Yeah, just go through this with
You got
me, right?
You got 90 seconds.
No, but, you know,
80.
Oh my day.
in all honesty, like, look at the
70.
squad. Look at the squad we had today. Yeah, bullshit,
Sorry,
mate,
Mike.
you don't have a stopper there.
Right.
So, guys, just please bear with
Go
me,
on,
right?
Mike. No, go on, Mike. Go on.
Look at the squad we had today.
Good point,
okay?
Mike.
No. Shut the fuck
come
up.
on,
Dad. No, on a serious note, right? Look at the squad we had today, right? And let's fucking count the players that you would sell today, right? Out of the squad we had today, okay? Poro I would keep, Romero, Van de Ven I would keep, Jet Spence and Udogie I would keep, right? But then we go to the midfield and we have Sarr. I wouldn't mind if we sold him, right? Bentancur, I wouldn't mind if we sold him, right? Palhinha is alone, I would keep him, right? Then you have Brennan Johnson, I would sell the fucker expeditiously. In that fucking second, right? I would sell him. Richarlison I would sell. Kolomouani is alone. And Xavi Simons I would keep, right? And then on the bench, we have Matistel. I would sell him, right? And we have Wilson Odobert. Kind of sell, but I don't know. I'm seeing something. Maybe just keep him, right? And then who else is there? Kevin Dunn, so let's keep him, right? So if I count correctly, out of the 15 outfield players that we could use today, right? I would sell like 6 of them, right? So yes, the players are the problem, in my opinion. Even if you take the injuries into account, there are some injured players that I would sell right now, right? But were there games that Thomas Frank lost or drew because of his own decisions? Yes, right? And this is something, like, as you must say, as Dan says, and as other guys say, right? I don't understand why so many people are so dead set on criticizing only one part of the problem, right? We have a whole, like, fucked up pie of problems, right? And we only take a slice and focus on the slice, right? It's like, yes, players are a massive problem, in my opinion, right? The lack of quality in the squad is staggering, right? When you compare us to squads like City, Liverpool, Arsenal. I know those squads like had way more investment, and although not really, right? We kind of spend the same
Even
money
the
as
teams
them,
below
right?
them, Michael, have got better attacks than us.
Yeah, not only attacks. I think some teams below us have better midfields than us, have better defenses. Maybe we have a good defense, right? There are only a couple teams that have better defense than us, right? But midfield attack, like, yes, players are the problem, right? And I would sell like 10 of them at this moment, right? But Thomas Frank also through his own decisions, lost or drew some games. Wolves is one of them for me, right? Bournemouth, if I remember correctly, like we were criticizing him heavily for the lineup and the approach, right? And even today, like as you guys said, starting Richarlison after Odobert did really well in Europe, right, was a travesty for me. And same thing with Udogie and Spence, right? By the way, I would put Spence on the right and play Udogie on the left and drop Porro for a game, right? Because Porro clearly
for a
hasn't
few
been playing
games,
well.
he's
Or even for a few games, right? But especially against Chelsea, he was fucking woeful, right? And today he was also really bad, right? So clearly Porro should be dropped based on merit, right? So, but then again, it is like I mentioned two slices of the pie, but then again there is the third one that's thankfully like part of it is gone, which is Levy, right? But the way this cup has been managed over the years is affecting the way we are right now, right? So like I'm saying this because I kid you not, I want to give Frank a chance, but that doesn't mean he's devoid of criticism, right? But we have to criticize him when the criticism is warranted, right? Warranted. Fucked up pronunciation from my part. Sorry, but yeah, when the criticism is warranted, we have to criticize him, right? Because that's just the right thing to do. But I also think there are moments where he is hamstrung by the quality of the squad, right?
Telling me.
Up front, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I mean, and there has been injuries and that, but I go back to that point again. Why the fuck did he start with Richarlison today? Then that is on his. Udogie, I don't know whether he's match fit. Yeah, and he's probably not match fit.
That's fair, right?
So do you know what? That one I can go. Sarr in the middle. I would have personally preferred Bentancur, but I could understand why he put someone like Sarr there to give you the bit of charge forward, maybe, and that. Yeah. But why the hell did he start with Richarlison? And bar the luckiness in that game, as far as I'm concerned, I thought the subs he made was fucking awful. I think it just turned out lucky and it worked at the end by the skin of his teeth. All right, it ended up 2-2, but we still scraped a point out of it in its own way or lost. Either way, I still think we scraped a point out of that in the aspect of those subs turned out lucky. I thought they were bad subs. Why the hell did Richarlison even stay on the pitch? He was absolutely bad.
What I don't get as well, and this has been bugging me now. Obviously Conte brought in Porro so he can be a wing back, and we know Porro's deficiencies in defence. Why doesn't Frank just put Porro further up the pitch?
that was my point for like 4 weeks past, right?
And rather than 4 weeks, Mike, me and you said this over a year ago.
Yeah, you've got more midfield options then with him as a right winger, which he's played before, by the way, right? And he's good enough even to be in an attacking three, to be honest.
I think so.
He's got the technical. Well, we think he does, doesn't he? Until we see him, I guess it's hard to know. But
it is an opinion until then.
Yeah, but he's got the technical ability. We've seen him do brilliant things, good crosses, good shots, set players up, etc., etc. But that's the type of adaptability we want to see. And it's not even moving him out of his comfort zone because when he was at Lisbon, he's done those sorts of things. So I just don't get it.
We're third, fourth in the table, and
no, but we're discussing the club and the game, though.
No, it's the way we're talking. We're 15th at the moment. I'm listening to all of this, and we are a third of the way. Not even a third of the way.
So we can't analyse the game and discuss the manager and the tactics because we're third. We should all be happy and ignore the deficiencies and ignore the problems we're seeing. No, but you're saying that. You're saying.
We can also,
but we played crap today.
We can all see there's a lack of quality. We can all see the squad's not balanced. We can all see that we're lacking top quality players, and we can all see we've got a lot of injuries.
So,
and he's walked into a team that's 17th. So if you're 12 weeks into the season. Of course, Frank's made mistakes. Every manager makes mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally, I would have started with Udogie on the left and Odobert further up because I thought both of them had played really well on Tuesday night. When you go back, you look at the subs. Moani's come off. It's obviously he's got a bad injury, so that's an injury substitution that was forced on him. Odebear's come on. He's had an assist. He was involved in the first goal. I'm reading some of the comments. He's shit. He's this. He's that. Once he got confidence, last 20 minutes, he had United's right back on toast. He was skinning him every single time going down the outside, which is great. And that's showing that Odebear is getting confidence now. He's getting confidence in his own ability to take on the defenders. Because the one thing that was up to the last week or two that has been frustrating for me has been Odebear's reluctance to take on defenders and go around the outside. When I saw the videos of his best moments for Burnley when he first joined, they were all going around the outside and beating his fullbacks, and that was playing in the Premier League for Burnley a couple 2 or 3 years ago. So for me, that's a major plus, and I think Odebear can now. You've got to remember, he is 20 years old. Mm-hmm. You know, we talk about if they're in the first team, then they're expected to be judged. I've got to tell you something.
Yes.
In any job you're in anything, unless you are just a wonderful generational talent like Lamine Yamal, right? Most kids get better as they get older. Most footballers, you go through every single footballer for every team.
Yes.
Glenn Hoddle at 20 was nowhere near as good as he was at 25.
No, of course not.
But
when it comes down to it, Ian, hang on a sec, Matt. When it comes down to it, Ian, I get you, but I use my phrase here that some people don't fucking like. Well, they maybe haven't lived in the sort of life I have, or I ain't lived in the life you have. It's a dog-eat-dog world. If you are good enough to be on that team, I don't care whether you're fucking 16 or whether you're 18 or whether you're 50, yeah? If you are good enough to get paid 75 grand and good enough to be in that team, the only leeway I'm going to give someone who's under 20, and 20 for me is not a fucking kid anymore, yeah? Maybe just in this Gen Z generation, yes, it is because it's so soft. Maybe some people just need to fucking man up and grow a pair of bollocks on the pitch and not cry every 5 minutes, yeah? I mean, there's been harder things happen in life. I'm going to judge you exactly the same way as I'm going to judge that other player. The leeway I will give is if a mistake is made and you can blatantly see it's through lack of experience, which does happen, then okay, I step back a little bit. But the rest of it, I judge him the same as every other player on there. If you want me to go soft with a player just because of his bloody age and that, then he shouldn't be. Hang on. Hang on. You just were talking about how they progress and shouldn't be looked on like that. I'm not denying the progression, but when they go and play for Spurs, if they are good enough to be in that 11, good enough to get paid 40 grand, 80 grand, whatever they do, I'm going to judge them exactly the same. But the leeway I give them is that bit of experience, yeah? What do you want me to do? Hold their fucking hand while they're on the pitch and give them a kiss? No, it's all right, boy, it's all right. Same as when it comes to the manager and when it comes to
You're supposed to do that, Dan.
When it comes to it, yeah, they want to hear all the sunshine blown up their ass and everything, and kissed and cuddled like, nice one, well done, there's your bonus, everything else. But the second something don't go right, you're not allowed to say a bloody word, and you're meant to shut the fuck up. Same as it is with Frank. He's got certain things right. I'm talking overall. Yeah, players do improve, but they're going to
absolutely same thing.
They're going to get judged the same.
Well, you can't. I wouldn't expect Odebear to put in the same level of performances.
30 million.
Then he shouldn't be in the team.
Hang on. As Kudus is a much more experienced player with major.
But I'm still going to judge him the same. Tag. Odebear isn't.
Sorry, do you expect Odebear?
Yeah, he's 30 million quid. Ian.
Same level of performance in as Kudus.
He's 30 million pounds. I expect a level of performance.
The money's nothing to do. It was 25, and the money's nothing to do with him.
So why did you say it was 25 instead of 30 then?
Because he was 25. He was 25.
Right. Ian, yeah? The money is everything to do with it. Because when you sign a player of sufficient money, you expect something for that money as fans of the club, right? Like 35, 40 million quid, I expect a lot more than what I've seen. The same with Odebear, right? Kudus is worth his 50 million quid price tag because he's showing it on the pitch. Xavi is not worth his 52 million quid because he's only shown it for the last few games, right? That's how we judge everything, right? If you buy a car for 40 grand, you want 40 grand of car. You don't say...
Sorry. No. poor analogy, Maz, and I'm going to pull you out on that. And I'll tell you why. Because you've got better equipment that's there. You've got the finished article in an Aston Martin that you haven't got in much cheaper cars. If that's how you're comparing, or a top BM or a top Audi or a top Ferrari.
my example's perfect, right? Because you've got cars that are 30, 40, 50, 60 grand that are better than Aston Martins and drive better and are faster on track, right? And then Aston Martin is good on the luxury front, right? So it's a poor analogy.
You know what? You
just gave, and my analogy is correct, right?
It's the point I'm making. These players are not. Odeberg is not the finished article.
Look at this.
Right, but Ian,
is looking like the finished article. Yes,
I agree with you. They're not the finished article, but you still got to judge them the same. If you've got one person who's 19 and one person who's 25 working on the till in McDonald's, one's getting 5 people through every 2 minutes, the other's getting like 1 person through every 2 minutes. The 18-year-old, you're going to look at him and say, sorry, mate, you ain't good enough for McDonald's. Baked potatoes, see you later, mate. Dog eat dog world. The other one, well done. Now that you're getting the till right, I'm now going to employ you in a higher job. You can now start serving up the burgers. Well done. It doesn't matter about age, mate. People, when it comes down to money, do not look at sympathy like that. I get it that they're not robots at that, yeah. I get all that. But I'm sorry, on the pitch, they're going to get judged the same as the others. Otherwise, why are they even in that first 25? They should be out on loan then. They shouldn't even be on the bloody pitch. Surely, with the amount they're getting paid, okay, then what we should do then is any player under 21, people still say are a kid. As far as I'm concerned, you can be called a kid up until you're 18, and then you're still pushing it. Yeah, okay, then they should have a cap on them that they can't get paid more than $5,000 until they can play a man's job. I just think some people, Ian, just on that pitch, like what happened with Chelsea, I think some people just need to grow a fucking pair and man up, yeah? Some people don't like the phrase. Yes, it's a hard life, but
I don't think it's about manning up. I think they're just not.
Well, against that Chelsea game, it definitely was.
They're just not good enough, Dan. That's the problem. The players
had no passion in that whatsoever at all.
But Ian, if they're not good enough, why do you back players like Gray, like Odeberg, if they're not good enough for them now?
I think within a year or two, those boys will be good enough.
It's not about a year or two. A year or two, we can be relegated. Why do you back them now?
First team football at the moment, we have a shortage of quality players who can play at the number 11.
Because we wasted money on kids like Gray, like Odeberg, like.
No, we didn't waste money on kids.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes, money. I'll tell you.
Do you realize?
Money on. I'll tell you who we wasted money on. We wasted money on Johnson. We wasted money on Richarlison. We wasted money on Solanke. And yes, there was 57, 48.
Okay, Ian.
Come on, Ian, say it. We wasted money on Gray as well, then, and we wasted money on Odeberg.
No, Ian.
Johnson's done more than Gray. Johnson's done more than Gray.
We overpaid. Johnson was a Welsh international we bought him that had been playing that had played Premier League football or Champions League football, champions for football for Forest. Gray we overpaid for, but we should have paid no more than 20 million. But for me,
so we wasted money.
No.
We wasted money.
We wanted him, and the fee was set. Brentford were going to pay 40 million. So
if a way that doesn't matter. So we
wasted money. If he cost 20 million, we wasted money.
But you know what? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, you should.
No, I've got to tell you something. I don't give a shit about the money. Everybody talks about the money that these players cost.
When it's wasted, Ian, on something we could get for now. Sorry, finish off. Go on, let him finish. Let him get his point over. Let him get his points. Go on, Ian.
First of all, it's about buying the right players, right? And secondly, we are a big club. This is Tottenham Hotspur. We're not Palace.
We should not get Frank. No, if we're a big club.
We are big enough and have been earning enough money to buy both, and we didn't buy both. Levy wanted to bring the wage bill down, and he bought 4 kids out of 5, and only bought Solanke in that summer transfer window with Ange the other summer. That was it. 1 established player. We let 4 go, and we bought 1 in replacement, which was ridiculous. And Spurs had the money to do both, to bring in good kids and at the same time replace the players and improve the established players.
Like we had the money to get a 10 and a left winger, but didn't. When do we ever do it, Ian? We don't. It's either one or the other. It doesn't give a fuck whether we're Tottenham Hotspur or not. We know how it works here.
That is so frustrating. It's so
I
frustrating.
know that. I can't
have
stand
the
it
money.
either.
We have the money. Do you know what? You look at how much money we could go to under PSR or FFP.
Yeah,
All the other clubs stretch. Whatever their level is, they stretch. They go virtually to the limit that they can spend to improve their team. We don't.
Lubo,
but we do that.
Lubo, listen, right? You can't say you don't give a shit about the money, because the money is the sort of the key performance indicator that you can draw parallels between us and other clubs, and then the quality of players that we buy with it. The other clubs don't care about the money like we do, because when they buy players, they get their return of investment and they win things and they achieve things and they do well in the league, etc., etc. When we do it, we don't. So we do care about the money, because we're spending the same amount of money. We've been charged some of the highest prices in the world to go and watch our club, right? And we don't get anything for it. So you can't say, I don't care about the money, because otherwise, if we didn't care about the money, then Levy's done a fantastic job.
And if you don't care about the money, then why are you complaining that we don't spend enough of it?
In terms of the first team, the club has spent money for 2 years out the last 25.
Oh, we have.
And
just
they gave the worst manager out of all of them the money to spend.
So you do care about the money.
You do care.
Does it make a difference to me if Spurs buy a player for 30 or 40 or 50?
It does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it should.
It does. Because when you let me explain. Allow me to explain. When you spend 30, I'll take your figures. 25 million on Odegaard, 35 on Tell. That's 60 million.
Yeah.
Right.
50
million for Richarlison, 60 million for Solanke.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You start approaching figures where, if you spent that money wisely, we would have your Tonali's and your fucking whatever other players there are in the league that are better for the other clubs. But we don't. We spend big money on shit players, and this is why we're in this predicament we're in now. Which is why your boy Frank, right, isn't doing as well, because we spent money badly. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say I don't care yet, but don't challenge.
Also, Maz, then you can't use that argument.
Point.
You can't use the argument by saying we spent money, right, and then not giving Frank the opportunity to spend money to bring in the players.
I'm not saying get rid of Frank. So that's not what I've ever said.
No, I know,
but you've got to give him time.
Yeah, exactly, because we need to see the quality players come into this football club, and people keep forgetting as well. Like this summer window that just went, we actually bought in, like I think Dan, you said it earlier on in the show. Mm-hmm. We bought 4 quality players. When have Spurs ever done that under Daniel Levy in one window, right?
We bought 2 quality players and 2 loans.
We bought 4 players who can go straight into the first team. That's the reality. Right?
1-1.
Yeah.
Mawani hasn't proved that he can go straight into the first team.
Mawani is better than what we've got.
Yes,
and
he
is,
right? But you have to see it first, because we've bought duds in the past before.
That means he goes straight into the first team, Maz, by default, because he's better than what we had.
On paper,
he is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's much better.
But I never bought him. He's a loan, right? He could f off at the end of the season. Okay. It's a loan, right?
Either way, we still got him in.
Yeah.
Fine, right? Yeah. When you analyze it that way in terms of numbers and how many good players, yeah. But the team in reality needed major surgery, because we bought 18 players for 400 million quid over 2 seasons, right? And we're in a shit position.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
right? That's the prime example that did it for me, right? That made a good window into a bad window for me personally. When I found out, right, that Daniel Levy wouldn't spend, or whoever it is, Lewis or whoever, wouldn't spend that 3 million quid difference to get Lookman in, right? That told me everything I needed to know about what was happening at Spurs.
You can't say that. Tottenham wanted Lookman. Tottenham wanted Lookman, but they didn't want to pay the money for him because they wanted him.
That's what I just said. I just said that.
That's what he just said.
Yeah, what did I say? Sorry, what did I say?
Hang on, Maz.
They didn't want a loan. They didn't want a loan.
Hang on, Danny's. Look, Atalanta wanted the player sold out the club, not a loan. Tottenham wanted a loan. That's why Lookman didn't come.
But then with the offer that come with it as well, we didn't want to pay the 3-4 million for it as well.
No, there wasn't an offer, Dan. There wasn't an offer. It was
you can only go by what you read in the paper.
No, there wasn't. Atalanta wanted to sell the player.
That's right.
That's correct. That is 100% correct.
Wanted him off, but
Spurs-
no club
make an
apart
offer.
from the only club that was prepared to pay the money, who didn't have the money, funny enough, was Inter Milan. They didn't have the
Yes.
money to pay for it.
In-
Right, that was it.
Milan
It's
had to drop
immaterial. Look, right, it's immaterial. Let's change the player. It could be that Savio chap, right, from Man City. We wouldn't spend the extra 10 million quid to get him.
Or
when we
Eze.
desperately need
Right.
him. Or
Wrong,
Eze.
wrong,
Or whoever
wrong.
it is. It's the
Wrong
same
again.
point.
Wrong
It
again.
doesn't matter about the intricacies.
nothing to do with
Alubo.
not
What does it
That's wrong,
matter?
guys. That's wrong. It does matter because
It's
you're
wrong.
using the
Spurs
same
want
argument.
Savino.
No, it doesn't.
it.
I'm saying that when we
matters.
need to spend the money, we never do. And we never get the player over the line. You
No.
saw that with the Eze deal.
He's right. Right. Hang on a second, yeah. Right. We all know the bullshit with Spurs. We all know we don't spend the money properly. We all know we spunk it up the wall on fucking crap half the time or just go and buy kids. People sit there and say they want better, but then go and justify the crap that we've bought and want it on the pitch, but then complain that we end up with fucking players that can't fucking hack it on the pitch and that. Last thing I want to get to then, before I go have my dinner in about half hour. Arsenal is who we got next.
What's going to
Now-
end badly?
If the way we played against Chelsea, this is where I use the phrase "fucking man up" because this is one thing that worried me in that game with Chelsea. Yeah, the way we played, fucking abysmal. No ifs, no buts. Yeah, but if Frank couldn't get that team hyped up for a game like Chelsea, for some people, our biggest rivals or their most despised of a club. For other people, it's Arsenal. I'd say majority it's Arsenal. For me, I can't fucking stand Chelsea in any means or manner.
No, Chelsea's
got
worse
more-
for me.
I've got more respect for Arsenal as a football club instead of, and that's taking the Spurs hat off instead of fucking Chelsea. Can't stand them, yeah. But he couldn't even get hyped up for a Chelsea game. For a Chelsea game at home. And they absolutely schooled us in every which way. The best part about the game was we only lost 1-0. Whereas if we'd have come out of that 6-0, it would have been fully deserved. We got absolutely fucking pants down, no Vaseline. Done. Hard. Might as well give us sandpaper to wipe our ass after.
It's basically Dietrich's Sunday night.
Right. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do with Arsenal then? What are we going to do with Arsenal except get it up the arse? Seriously, what are we going to do with Arsenal?
We're going to hear
I-
excuses from.
I'll say this and I'll shut up. I think like that. There's every possibility
Shut
that
up,
we
man.
might get a draw. We might even nick a result, or it could turn out to be a Chelsea. That's one thing I'm confident with Frank. I don't think we're going to get pastings like we did under Ange. So going into the Arsenal game, I think we've got enough to maybe get a result or a draw out.
So, Maz, isn't that an improvement then on last season when we're
Yeah,
getting
I'm
pasted
not
by
saying
everyone?
Frank is not an improvement. I've said that, Danny. I said that at the start.
I know you have.
I think Frank has done a lot of good things for Spurs. I
And a
like
lot
the
of bad
fact
things.
that he's made us harder to beat. I like his communication. I like the fact that the players aren't running around like hedges chickens and they look like they know what they're doing. Right. I like the fact that we're having some possession now rather than losing possession like straight away. There's loads of positives with Frank.
But what have we got to do? What has Frank got to do with Arsenal now? What have we got to do when we play them? Apart from pull our
I
finger
think we've
out our
got to
arse,
do
what do you think he's
counter-attack.
got to do?
We've got to be counter-attacking.
I think we'll be made to counter-attack. Like people say that Arsenal play for corners. They have shitloads of the ball in most of the games, right? It's just that they are not necessarily the most creative team out there, right?
He needs to look at how Jose beat Arsenal when we played them 3-4 years ago. That is what I want to see Frank do. If he does,
Yeah, but
he
we
needs to
had
do a
Kane and
Jose
Son.
masterclass on them.
We had Kane
we
and
Do
only-
Son
play best at
back then.
counter-attacking football. But go on, Dietrich, what do you think?
For
What has
us-
Frank got to do for Arsenal apart from try and get the players hyped up?
For Arsenal, I'll say one thing. Their biggest weakness would be down their left side, so Calafiori. If Kudus plays, he's going to have a field day against Calafiori because Calafiori is not, I wouldn't say the best defender 1v1. Because Timber is a
He's not
bloody
very
good.
physical either, is he?
No, and Timber is a bloody good right. For me, he's one of the best right backs in the league.
Mhm.
And if he wants to go down the left, I'm telling you this, it's not going to end really well against Arsenal. And this game, I know a lot of people don't like this midfield, but Bentancur and Paulinho have to play.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
if they
Agreed.
must play. And whoever plays at the 10, no offense, is going to be pretty useless. Because they have Zubomendi and Declan Rice.
And center backs stepping up, right? So
and center backs that can easily push up and like be physical. So strikers mid and number 10 they're going to be useless. But down the right is their biggest. Down their left, is their biggest weakness.
I think that this is one game where you actually go through flanks, no through the middle, because we
flanks.
Yeah, because we often criticize Frank that we focus too much on the flanks and we don't go through the middle, right? I think against Arsenal, this is one game where you have to go through the flanks, right? Especially through Calafiori, as you said, right? Like Timber is a problem because he's a fucking beast, right? But Calafiori, like he's physical, but he's like he turns like a truck, right? So I think if you put Kudus on him and isolate them 1v1, I think that we can have some joy there, right? But to be honest, I think since it's at the Emirates, right, if I remember correctly, I think this will be a 1-0 to the Arsenal, unfortunately. But it's just the way they play, right? I unfortunately, I think we won't be able to create much against them, and they will score from a corner or something. And this is, I think I have to like agree with what one of you said, and I think this is an improvement, even though it's still like not a positive result. But I think losing 1-0 when there is like relative control of the game or relative, like, you are competitive in a game. I'm not talking about Chelsea, right? Chelsea is an outlier, but other than that, the other games, right, where you lose, but you are in the game, right? You are still competitive to some sorts, right? Because for me, the biggest fucking thing that I hated about us under Ange, right, was the way we got pasted in so many games, right? Like, and the fact that so many people lambasted about like how great it is to lose 6-3 against Liverpool, right? What a bunch of, like, I don't want to use the R word again, but this is what I honestly think about that. Right? Yeah, but but even if you lose 1-0 to the Arsenal, right, and even if we are not necessarily like the most creative and we don't create like good chances, I still think that's no shame, in my opinion, to lose to them at this point, right? I know this might be a controversial thing. I'm not saying we should go there and just accept the fact that we are going to lose, but I think there is no shame in losing to them. I just want us to be competitive, and
Michael, just
Right,
a word of
Ian,
advice. Don't refer
just
to
want to
them
say
as
goodbye.
the Arsenal.
Maz,
very
let Ian
goonerish of
say
them.
goodbye. Ian just wants to go. All right, then, mate. Cheers for coming on, Ian. Take care of yourself.
Been great
Cheers,
seeing
Ian.
all the comments. I just want to say that Frank's walked into a shit show. We're short. We all know we're short.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the big picture when we're looking at it and saying, is he doing a better job? Listen, I've got to tell you something. It is a hard watch. Most games at home this season have been a hard watch, but I've got to tell you something. It's a lot easier than watching us get ripped apart and losing 22 league games and going home pissed off because we've lost again and again and again. We got 5 points out the last 36 in the league last season. This is a massive improvement, I've got to tell you.
Oh, sure, it ain't. We know that.
Massive.
But anyway, Ian, take care of yourself, and I'll speak
Cheers,
to you
guys.
soon, mate.
Yeah.
Take care.
Dan, I don't know
Go on,
why
Maz,
you were
with what
shaking
you were
your
saying.
head, mate. You backed Ange, so don't you fucking start, all right? I'm on to you, mate.
But I didn't back Ange. I just wanted to give him the.
I
chance.
heard you, mate.
Oh,
I
you
saw
did back Ange. You're such a liar.
Oh, lay off, Dan. You got all sentimental.
I never,
mate.
I
Don't give me
never
that
backed.
bullshit.
No,
Yes,
no,
you
swear
did.
to
no, I
God,
didn't.
When were you Ange out? At what point were you
At
Ange out?
the Ipswich game.
Look at
Ipswich
his
at home, right? Ipswich at home.
No, Ipswich away. I
Away,
went to the away game, and he
But
dropped.
we won that for 1, right? Or
Yeah,
something.
but he dropped Spence when he was the best. He had a man of the match performance in the game before, and he dropped him just because Udogie came back.
Yeah,
at the
Udogie
time,
came
yeah.
back. Yeah.
And
Okay,
I
so
said,
Udogie
if
was
he,
playing
because
I said-
I thought you were Ange out Ipswich at home, because then it would mean that I was the latest one to become Ange out, because I was Ange
Michael,
out
Michael,
after
this guy is
Wolves.
every time he lies, look at his nose, it gets bigger and bigger like Pinocchio. You're such a liar, Daniel.
How am I lying? I never said it. I never said I wanted Ange.
No,
to stay.
Ian was talking
I
about
never
how
said I
it's been a
wanted
hard
to stay.
watch, and you just see Danny like nodding his head. Yeah, I agree. Liar.
I wasn't nodding at that.
We all spell you.
All right, forget that if it's okay off the tangent.
No, personally, I just think, Dan, all of a sudden you went all morally correct in a matter of fucking 95 minutes like a few other people did, and then all of a sudden it was all about morals and standards, and he should get a chance and everything else. So don't give me that bullshit, mate. You was just as bad as a few others out there. Right, so last on it, then.
No.
Arsenal,
you can't just say that and then say move along. It's not a
yeah,
fucking
I
like
can
that.
say that. I could do
No,
what the fuck I want,
fucking-
mate. Shut up. And when I go on...
How about you shut the fuck up, Dan, you cunt? Don't give me that. I'm
Anyway,
not a stabber,
to the
mate.
point,
I'm not a
sweetheart.
stabber.
All right,
get
sweetheart,
twisted.
calm down. Dan, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Come on. That's it. Slowly.
Dan, don't get me
Otherwise
started on
you're
you, boy.
You're going red on the face, mate. Slow down. Slow down.
I'm not going red.
Look, you can tell he's even sitting funny and that. Look, if you keep pushing like that, mate, you're going to get piles and then you fucking burst one, mate. And then you definitely will need a sanitary towel. Anyway, back in that aspect.
Dan, are you on the pills again, mate? You seem a bit all flustered, mate. You're all over the place.
Yeah, man. The amount I have to take at the moment is shocking. So, does anyone think we have to stand a chance against
You try and
Arsenal?
shove it
No,
up your
I
arse
think-
and get a better hit, mate.
You'd be surprised.
I've said. I think it just depends on how G'd up Frank can get the players. I think we've got the tactics to beat them. We've done it against Man City, as an example.
Give him some of Dan's special powder, mate. That'll get him geared up.
And
They wouldn't be able to handle it, mate. Come on, that's what you're saying. Keep it cool so we can finish it then. Go on, man.
Can you fucking imagine our team just walking to the game and it's all coked up like
come on, we're never going to finish the show otherwise. Right,
Well, mind you, one quick thing: the way Frank looks at the most of the time, and that he looks like he's had a night before, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, Maz, come on, finish it up. Go on.
Look, assuming that, let's say Kudus comes back and we have a full strength back line, as an example, I think we've got every chance. I think you nailed it earlier, Dan, when you raised the Chelsea example. If we turn up like we did against Chelsea, we'll get smoked.
Yeah.
If we turn up like we did against Man City, we've got a chance for sure. It all comes down to how well he can G up those players and get them fired up and concentrated and pressing. And if we do that, then we've got every chance to do it. We've got every chance. But I'm worried that that's waned. As the season's gone on, his ability to get them G'd up against the really good teams has waned. Forget about Copenhagen. I don't think they're as good as, what some people make them out to be. But that's my feeling on it. I don't think we're going to get pumped. Let's put it that way. I don't think we're going to get pumped. I think if we do lose, it'll be like a 1-0 or 2-1 or something like that. But we've got every chance of winning. If
Fair
things
enough.
work out.
Mike?
Yeah, listen, I don't believe we'll win. I think just watching Arsenal this season, I think with our issues in attack, right, and with how solid defensively they are, I just struggle to see many opportunities for us to score the goal. And unfortunately, as much as I think we are better defensively than we were last season, we are not that good defensively to keep them out for 90 minutes at the Emirates, right? So unfortunately, I think we'll concede. It just depends whether we will score a goal or not, right? I just wouldn't be surprised if we lost 1-0, and it let me put it that way. It wouldn't be like a Chelsea, right, where we basically did nothing throughout the whole game. But I just wouldn't be surprised if we lost 1-0 and it kind of felt like it was inevitable, if you get what I mean, right? I think a season ago, second season under Ange, we lost 1-0 at home, where basically the whole game was like a borefest and they scored a corner. Gabriel scored the corner over Romero, right? And I kind of envisage I envision the same game happening in 2 weeks. I hope I'm wrong. Don't get me wrong, right? But I hope I'm wrong. But I don't know. I just don't think we are at the level where we like have a big chance of winning against them. Of course, like shit can happen, right? Like Gabriel can have a brain fart moment and tackle one of our players and get sent off, right, in the 3rd minute, and then maybe we'll win, right? But of course, like other than those kind of types
As long
of
as Richarlison don't take the fucking penalty.
there is that too, right? But I just hope that we have some more options after the international break, right? Because if we are to believe to what we've heard from the pressers, I think Solanke should be back, Kudus should be back, I think Dragusin will be back. I know those aren't like the best options out there, but I think at least it gives us like a different avenue or a different way to play, right, with some of those players. So, listen, I'm not necessarily too hopeful, but we will see. And the scoreline, I think Arsenal will win 1-0. But yeah,
Dietrich.
So, you see, I'm the type of person which I'm a realist. I'm not expecting a win if we do fair play. But if we lose, I'm just expecting we lose, but we're fighting. The same way I'm watching Sunderland, what they're doing to Arsenal at the moment. Do not let them play their game and be rough. Like, be physical, try to, like, honestly, if you, like, I don't promote violence, but, like, if it has to be, like, two groups, like, sworn at each other, like, I want to see that. I want to see a proper derby.
Basically, man up. Play like a
man up,
bunch of men,
exactly.
not
Like, I don't want to see kids. I don't want to see players, like, saying, oh, there's Zubimendi, Declan Rice, let me, like, back off. No. F them. Punch them up. Like, use an elbow. Like, try to be a proper man for this game.
Just be...
And I don't want to see
to it.
Yeah, I want to see
Obviously,
dirty, but I want to see Frank not being like overwhelmed by the atmosphere or like whatever happens at the Emirates. I don't want to see him crumble the same way he did against PSG. But I'm expecting a 2-3-0 loss.
Dan?
I don't know. I just don't want us to lose a game. I just hope we can get a draw from the game. To be honest, I think we can get a draw. I think that's the best we'll get. I think we're not beating them. I can't see us beating them. It would be a typical like crazy thing that happens with Spurs, where we just go against every single odd possible. We beat them in their own game at set pieces, and then something like that happens, or they get a red card. I think that's the only way we're gonna win that match. But look, I just don't want us to be embarrassed. That's all. If it's a close game, it's like 1-0 to Arsenal or 2-1 Arsenal. But it was a close game.
2-1 Arsenal.
Yeah, if it's a close game. But I actually think we'll draw. I think we're going to draw the game. We're better away from home.
Oh, should have just scored. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
As long as we don't get fucked over to the extent that we did with Chelsea, and it looks like we actually got up here. And it looks like you've got men on the pitch and not boys, for God's sake. You can take a 1-0.
I just hope that they don't go up a level or two. Because if they go up a level or two for this game, then we're in a bad.
If they go up a level, they're already light years ahead of us, so we're screwed if we don't.
No, I know, but I'm saying if they do,
I know what you mean.
We're gonna be fucked. So
yeah, completely.
Yeah, I just hope. Yeah, they have to score. Trossard scored, isn't it? Yeah, I just hope that. We don't get demolished and we don't get embarrassed, because that's the one thing we don't want to be doing. Going to the Emirates. If we can get a respectable loss or a respectable draw, or even a snatch and grab draw, I'll take a point at the Emirates.
Yeah, man. Like...
No, I get what you're saying. And Maz, what do you reckon? So, what do you reckon score will be on there? Mike, just quickly, score
1-0 Arsenal.
Dietrich,
3-0 Arsenal.
Dan,
I'm gonna go 2-2.
Okay, Maz,
you're moral.
I think 1-0.
1-0. I want to have a bit of positivity in it, but I'm just seeing 3-1 Arsenal on this one. I'm struggling with it. If you couldn't hype us up with Chelsea, and after the way we did play today as well, I must admit I'm pretty scared. But maybe we can get a 1-0 out of it. Right, I'm going to leave it at that.
We play better away from home, Dan. That's the thing.
We do. That's what I was going to say quickly. We do actually play better away from home because we basically get made to do a counter attack, basically, don't we? In that aspect. So, anyway, cheers for coming on, everyone. Cheers for the guests. Cheers for the chat. Give us a quick like and subscribe. Be appreciated. Once I'm done here, I'm going to send you straight over to Jay from the Cave. So if you just pop on there, at least give him a like and subscribe or whatever, and say Hotspur Hood Raid. Cheers, everyone. Let's just say it's been eventful. Take care and speak to everyone soon.
See ya.
Take it down.